Hi, this is Rhett Bartlett. This audio is of the Coodabeen champions commentating the 1986 VFL Grand Final. They were broadcasting from the Loaded Dog Pub, Brewery in North Fitzroy. The main commentators of the broadcast are Tony Leonard and Trevor Marmalade, but the entire Coodabeens are there doing special comments as well. It also includes half time of the broadcast, where they interview the choreographer of the Carlton Football Club Bluebirds cheerleading squad. Now, because this tape is almost 40 years old, at times the audio does get a bit soft, or it drops out, or it's a bit crackly. So bear with it, because as the tape goes on, the sound quality gets much better. So here it is, with thanks to Greig Norman, no, not that Greig Norman, for providing this tape and many others that I'll digitise. Here it is, the Coodabeen champions broadcasting the 1986 VFL Grand Final on 3RRR from the Loaded Dog Brewery.
It's a lovely day in Melbourne. It's 16 degrees, and let's bounce that ball and get the 86 flag underway. Shocking bounce, favours Deer. Deer running through the ball. Dipper can't get it. Running through Wayne Blackwell, having trouble picking up the ball. Goes to ground. Good kick by Dipper in towards centre half forward. Brereton behind Dorothy. All over him. Well pushed on, son. Des English caught with the ball. Handball down. Platten going up towards the forward line. Who's he got? He's looking for Jason Dunstall. Hotly pressed by Bruce Still. Bruce goes towards the boundary line, and it'll be out of bounds in the forward pocket. 45 seconds in with the Hawks in attack, Trevor.
Yes, I've had 3 heart attacks already, Tony. What an exciting start. Score's dead level at the moment.
Justin Madden does battle with Greg Deer. Craig Bradley on top of the ball goes towards Wayne Blackwell. Terry Wallace tries to outmark him. Bernie Evans and Langford coming through. Wallace has got the ball. He goes inboard looking towards the running Buccanara. I just about say that.
Oh,
No,
Rob.
I think he's going to bounce the ball. Bad decision.
Oh, I thought he held that, Tony.
Few vigorous tackles early there by Brereton, Dorotich and company.
Blackwell in trouble.
Blackwell looks a little bit in trouble there. No, just looking again at the replay. Correct decision. 35 metres out. Forward pocket. Snap by Hawthorn. Going into Dunstall. Duel directly to Mark to Dunstall. And the first score for the Mighty Hawks looks like coming up about a minute and a half in. They're kicking towards the big scoreboard end of the MCG. And a nice strong mark. And that's going to be a big clash, that one, Greg. Dunstall and Duel.
Tony, how's the blood pressure? You're going 100 miles there.
If you think this is excitable, just wait till it's close. Although it can't get any closer at the moment. There's no score. Goes to
Puts
goal.
it through.
The first goal of the 1986 Grand Final goes to Hawthorn.
Okay, I think we might take some special comments from the Duncan Wright committee on that passage of play. You there, fellas?
Well, nothing much. Jeopardy's black. He gets hit me on the head with his Hawthorn jumper, so I'm not too
I
impressed
must
at
have
the
hit them
moment.
very hard. I will cross back.
Do what you do best, Cleary. Fuck him.
And of course, it's 1 goal Hawthorn, no score yet. Carlton 2 minutes in, and this live 3RRR simulcast is being brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery in North. What a great job they do for football, at least getting us full and making fools of ourselves at the football. Punched by Madden, can't get the ball. Schwab out of the centre. The running mascot is the target, unfortunately. He's on the half-back flank for Carlton. Fumbling a bit, just missed out in Peter Curran. But the running Motley now. Now let's see what this Sandgroper can do. He goes centre wing, looking in the direction, though, of Kernahan. It bounces well for Kernahan. Running through is Bernie Evans. Dispossessed of the ball. Knocked out by Langford. Another handball goes out in the direction of Terry Wallace, and he clears. He's looking for Curran. Good knock away by Peter Dean. Ball in centre wing, though. And here goes the running Richard Loveridge through centre. Ball kick in the direction. Running out, though, unfortunately. Hawthorn can't get to it. And Wayne Piggy Harms gets the ball. Goes backwards towards Des English, and he'll bring the ball out to the member stand side.
And Meldrum comes out to take the mark in front of Tuck. He might have given away 15 metres there. Meldrum looking downfield. Boots down towards the half-forward region. They set themselves up. They go with Langford from behind, punching the ball down. Johnson comes through, swings onto the left boot, and drives into the goal square. Could be a score. They get underneath it and punch through. 4 behind to Carlton. Carlton's first score on the board there, Greg.
Tony, I've got to pick you up on that reference to Motley as a Sandgroper.
Okay, Greg and team, we'll cross back down to the fence again for specialist comments. How do you see the game at this stage, boys?
Yes, well, Dermot Brereton tried to line up John Dorotich and missed.
Okay, play's underway. We'll cross back.
Johnson didn't miss Langford, though, with the elbow, and it's on centre half back as Rocket Rodney goes towards the running Curran in the back. I'd pay it against Peter Dean. Umpire has seen, and it's out a wing. And Come on, Reese, don't muck around. None of these fairy punches. Let's get a real good 4 or 6 weeks, and it's going to be 15. He's knocked him off already. I don't believe it.
Look his number. Reese Jones.
Okay, there's been a report, so I think at this stage we really must cross down to the Duncan Wright committee. Okay.
For this one, Jeffrey, did you see that lovely little right cross right to the jaw from Reese Jones?
Did you think it was reportable? Did you think it was reportable?
Certainly was. I got sent off last week for nothing.
Actually, I might have to stop you there, boys. I didn't see the notebook come out. It just might have been a little bit of a talking to.
He did look at his number, though, Tony. I think you'll find.
And Gary is well down from the back pocket. He's on the centre wing position. 15 metres against Reese Jones.
A big 15.
That's a very well. You've got to give Reese 15. Let him know who's the boss. Gary Ayres goes towards the forward pocket. It's in that 50-metre arc. The big flying Brewery can't get it. Platten comes through. He can't get it. Motley on top of the ball. Ball up, says the umpire.
Umpire says, give the ball to me, and the player says, okay, you can have it.
I always wondered why they always say, I'll have the ball, thanks very much, umpire. And I don't know how the commentators can read their lips from that direction.
Tony, what have happened to stacks on the mill? I've always wondered about that. You never hear stacks on the mill anymore.
No, it's more a pile-up now, Kevin. We had a little bit of a mini pile-up there. It's a free kick to John Dorotich against Brereton, and he'll relieve the pressure for the Carlton. Up 5 minutes in, 1 goal Hawthorn, 1 point Carlton on the loaded dog scoreboard. In the direction now, it's on the centre wing now. Tommy Alvin coming through. The Billy back still look alike. Unfortunately, a ball kick there goes in the direction of Russo. Russo overruns it. Sellers. McClure tries to knock it on. Unfortunately, straight to Tucky. And Tucky relieves the pressure for Carlton. Hawthorn, and goes to the Big Dipper. Dipper goes through centre wing now. Macanara! He can't get the ball. Hanging on to Platten. He's still hanging on him. It has to be holding the man.
And average football. Average.
I thought he pulled up a bit short in his act too.
Oh, but Macanara, didn't he get vertigo up that high? 47 metres out, directly in front. Johnny Platten lining up for his first shot at the VFL 1986 Grand Final. He goes long. He goes strong. He hits the post. And I reckon he ought to get 3 points for hitting it from that distance.
Good effort. Tiny Timber football, John Platten.
Hawthorn 117, Carlton 1 point. The Hawks 1 goal in front. It'll be Harms to kick out from full back. Harms looking downfield. Kicks to centre half back. They set themselves. It's English taking the mark in front of Platten. Looks for the handball. Scott running through the centre. He drives towards centre half forward. They set themselves. It was Russo punching down from behind. But Kernahan showing mobility. Takes the ball and drives in towards goal. But it's offline and out of bounds. For a throw in. Forward pocket. For Carlton.
7 plays 1 on the loaded dog scoreboard. About 7 minutes in. Just around from their score. 7:04. That's how far we've gone. It's Langford doing battle with Kernahan. Hunter surprisingly gets the punt. Kicked in midair by Roddy. The ball about 65 yards out. Good knock on by Reese Jones. And Reese Jones roughly finds the handball for Harms. He'll just about kick this. He kicked at the distance, but it's only 1 point.
Hasn't that Langford got a good rock jaw? Just like a cartoon character.
Now, I believe he almost got the part of Dave Sullivan in the Sullivans when they did the original casting.
They're certainly not giving any latitude thus far, but I think the game's been free of the spiteful incidents we all hoped and expected.
But
in the first 10 minutes.
It's only early. McClure flies high but can't do it. Good knock on by Russell Green. Dipper through centre wing, handballs the ball away. He's being well hassled there by Tommy Albert. Bernie Evans went for a kick, couldn't get it through. Good handball, Ayres on Curran. And towards Tunstall again. He's outmanoeuvred Bruce Dool then. Dorotich backing up Dool very well. And the strong slab only gets the ball as far as Platten. Brereton has a shot over his shoulder for 1 point. And good play then by the kid. Kid Sinister of Hawthorn. 1 goal, 8 points Hawthorn plays. 2 points Carlton. 8 minutes in on the loaded dog scoreboard. And how did you see that passage of play then, Greg?
Oh, the Carlton people lapped up the Dermot Brereton as a hood song this morning at their function. They loved it.
I'm sure that's got a big influence on the game. Dool goes member side wing. And it's a good mark there to Peter Dean, and I think he'll get 15 metres. What a classic start to this 86 Grand Final. He handballs the ball in, and Wayne Blackwell from suspension. First game back goes towards centre forward. Good knock on by Kernahan. Johnson tries to dummy. Well tackled Langford. In the back, Langford won't be paid or will it? No, he won't. Abbott tries to knock the ball away. Schwab hassling through, can't get the ball. Good knock by Dipper. And let's see what's happened. The umpire's going to call it back, and it's going to be a free to Dipper for a bit too high.
Tony, are you on something?
Yeah, I'm on this lovely imported beer being supplied by the loaded dog. Chris Langford on member side wing kicks the ball long, and I think it's going to be downfield. I did turn a hand, charged him just after he delivered the ball, and it looks like a free to Gary S, who appears to be playing, I'd say, in the middle, or even perhaps on a half-back flank on Wayne Johnson.
A bit of a surprise, Langford lining up on Kernahan.
Oh, nothing in it, umpire.
Well, while the umpire sorts that one out, I'll just see what the reaction is up in the members to the reports that have gone down so far. Chris, the members displeased with the violence?
We're disgusted with the general style of the Hawthorn team. Jeff, no points for general neatness amongst the Hawthorn players.
No,
However, there's 6 points for Carlton there, Tony.
It's a goal to Molly Meldrum. And I'll take a Kernahan ended up with that kick, but he certainly did. The umpire changed his decision. And it's 1 goal to each of 2, 8 points each of 2.
Here's a dance from the Bluebirds.
Jeff, I'm getting down there, getting the screamers on the ground for the goal. Here I go.
The Bluebirds have got our own sub-branch here. Trevor Marmalade.
Oh, 1-2-8 to 1-2-8. We could be back here next week, fellas. Scores level in this engrossing tussle as the umpire slaps the ball into the turf. Bounce once again favours Deer, who gets the punch out. Lang gets another punch. Green picks up and drives towards the half-forward flank. Ayres punches the ball on. It's in no man's land. Running for it looks like Motley. Motley takes the ball, swings onto his right foot and looks forward, and it's Glasgow taking the mark. He's grabbed by Curran but gets the kick away. But in front is Ayres taking the mark of Bradley. Looks like must have been a free downfield there. Bradley took the free. Handball over to McClure. Down went Bradley. Cop one right in the scone. Kernahan diving for the ball. Can't take the mark. And it runs over the boundary line before Russo could get to it. It'll be a throw-in.
And the boundary umpire runs up and he says, "Give it to me, lads." And the lads say, "Okay, sure."
Pretty ordinary effort then from the lads giving it that easily. It's half-forward flank with Carlton in attack. Langford tries to take the ball from the throw-in. It's a Hawthorn kick. The ball actually again in no man's land, but the running Russell Green gets it on and hisses the danger man at the moment. Gary Ayres going through centre. Shocking kick. Finds Dermot Brereton. Brereton shrugs off. Beautiful handball. Curran will straighten up. He goes towards goal. It's there! 2 goals, 14 points Hawthorn. 1-2-8 Carlton on the loaded dog scoreboard.
Great piece of play. I'll check down with the Duncan Wright Committee. You approve of that one, Phil and Julian?
Not much dirty playing it, but I tell you what, I've got the training. Who are those bourgeois stiffs in the grandstand that I've got to put up with at the moment?
Oh, they're just keeping a check on things. Do you like the way Dermot Brereton avoided that tackle?
Lovely.
Thank you. Tony?
Well, what a start to this fabulous 86 grand final. And I think it's probably one of the greatest grand finals that I've ever had the privilege to call.
Another Crombacher, Tony.
I will have another one.
As the balls bounce down.
As Justin Madden gets the ball out, the running Blackwell through the centre. The quick replies coming up, I fear, for Carlton. Tommy Alvin looking towards goal. He has hit the post. In points place 9. 2-2 Hawthorn. 1-3-9 Carlton. And, no wonder he hit the post. Have a look at the hair on him. Is that a wig, champs?
So far, I don't know. So far, I haven't seen Dipper in the actions. The Brownlow Blues are still haven't.
The ball being put back into play. Trevor Marmalade.
Mute kicks the ball out from fullback, looking for Dippy a minute ago. Madden comes from behind, can't mark. Dipper scouting behind the pack, drives into centre half forward. Buckenara sets himself from behind. Oh, it's doubtful mark. No, not paid by the umpire. Bit of a scrimmage developing there. Harms comes through, seeks the slipper in. Comes to Ayres. Left foot into full forward. Coming out front, he's Brereton, who waltzes into goal.
Casual. I want to get a rating out of 10 on that one. Julian Phil down in the Duncan Wright Committee. What do you give out of 10 for absolute showiness there?
Oh, yeah. Should have got reported for deliberately wasting time.
A great effort too. And one thing about Dermot Brereton, he doesn't mind sticking it up the opposition when something comes up. It was great play from Dunstall, and just at the minute, no two ways about it. Bruce got his hands full because Dunstall set up 2 of Hawthorn's 3 goals.
Okay, Trevor, take it away.
Okay, the ball goes up. Madden gets the hit out again. Blackwell in the van. Takes the ball, but he's hotly pressed. Green puts the tackle on him, and a pile-up develops, or stacks on the middle as we used to know it, and the umpire says, "Give it to me."
And who was the nice boy? And I'll tell you something.
Blackwell slow to get up as well. He looks as though he might have caught one in that pack there. Looking very groggy.
He looked like he caught one right in that pack there too. Right in the middle of the pack too.
The head region, it was a knee from a Hawthorn player.
Well, they haven't stopped play. Away we go, Trev.
Okay. No one gets a decisive hit out. They're still fighting for it. Comes to Abbott. He gets the right food into it. Brereton coming out. Can't take the mark. Diving forward. Curran picks up. Looks for Platten. Finds him with the handball. He goes straight around Motley, who tried to clobber him. He drives in, looking back once again for Curran, who takes the mark in the forward pocket. He wastes no time. Puts the short pass in. Buckenara takes the mark and was flattened by Motley. He'll probably take him up to the goal line. The umpire thought that was
15-metre
fair
penalty.
enough.
I'll check with the Duncan Wright committee on that. Should there have been a 15?
Disgusting decision. Should have taken him right over the goal line, Jeffrey.
Thanks, Phil.
And Buckenara, he's a pretty hopeless kick from a set shot. This could go anywhere, but 15 yards out, he should put it through. He lines up, yes, no mistake about it, right through the hay diddle.
Okay, the Hawks looking very good. We'll take a more sedate comment from our bourgeois friends up in the members. Chris?
Jeff, we cannot understand what that bloke without the hair and the headband is doing out on the field. It is the worst appearance of a player in a grand final I've seen since Paddy Ganane appeared.
Out of 10 for grooming?
-7.
Okay. Special comments now from Greg Champion.
Comments. Tony Thorne. Leonard, isn't it?
Tony Thornton, well, he drums in your band, Chance, but that doesn't mean you're sniffing anything at the moment. We're just having a good time. Bounce favours Justin Madden. Unfortunately, they're a little bit rattled at the moment. The Blues is Russell Green, really on his game at the moment. Kicks in the Brereton direction. Dorotich falls at the vital stage. Good play, Dorotich. Knocks it to work for the team. And I'll just about pay that for holding the man.
Tony, I've been down in the rooms. Wayne Blackwell did cop one in the family jewel.
Okay. Peter Dean will relieve the pressure. Not unfortunately for Wayne Blackwell, though. He kicks it out to the centre wing position as Langford knocks the ball through. The running Platten. And isn't that a battle of the hairstyles there? Johnny Platten and Tom Alvin. Fair dinkum, their barber wouldn't get a holiday out of their haircut, so they'd get about one a year, I'd reckon.
Hawthorn opening up a 17-point break in this vital first quarter as Madden takes the ball out of the ruck. Alvin tries to get a kick away, not successful. He gets a quick handball out to Dippy a minute ago. Oh, Alvin put a Hawthorn player down there. The handball comes out to Ayres in the meantime, who drives into the goal square. Buckenara and Motley racing for the ball, but it'll beat them all over the line, I feel. Buckenara cops an elbow in the head from Motley. The umpire comes in, but we're waiting on the decision.
It was out of bounds, Trev.
Out of bounds. Oh, I thought he might have paid a free kick to Buckenara.
Well, you can't get a free kick when the player. Have a look how far out of bounds.
Well,
he didn't even hit him either.
I'll check with the Duncan Wright committee on that one. Nothing in it?
No, we only a -1 on that, Jeff. I think it would have been done a much bigger job on it.
Okay. Back to the game. Thanks, Tony.
Justin Madden relieving the pressure, and there's a lot of pressure for Carlton at the moment. Nice kick finds Kernahan. Can't take the mark. On the bottom of the pack is Schwab. There's stacks on the mill. Reece Jones being quiet. Well balked though. Reece Jones sets up the running Tommy Albert, and they're starting to look good. And first touch to Kenny Hunter. Oh, great tackle! He ducked the head. Great decision, holding the ball, and what a great tackle then from Chris Mew.
I think they call that a hospital hand pass.
3 Carlton players there having their first touch, I think. Hunter getting the ball to Johnson, who was grabbed. Absolutely.
Well, Carlton look in an awful lot of trouble to me. Anyway, Chris Mew taking up the 15-metre penalty. Tony.
He certainly does, and he goes towards centre half forward in that fabulous Brereton Dorotich direction. What a battle they're having. Well done, Dermot, and it's well kept in, well trapped in. That's the football expression. It's about 80 yards out from directly in front of the Hawthorn goal. They're in attack. They lead 26-9 on the fabulous Loaded Dog Hotel scoreboard.
And Carlton would want to do something. They're struggling.
Are Carlton paying the penalty for playing injured players? We'll find out. As the ball comes to the full forward region, Buckenara going through, the ball comes out in the direction of Green. He's trying to pick the ball up. Motley got into his back a bit there. No one getting a decisive play in there, and the umpire will ball it up.
And I thought you got a little bit tongue-tied then, Trevor, when there was basically no action whatsoever.
Yes.
Don't make it exciting when it's not exciting. I'll do that. That's my job. I'll make this one exciting. Peter Cameron bounces down. Carlton in real pressure. Dear handballs through. It looks like Gary Ayres, best man on the ground. Great handball to Buckenara. It's out of bounds. I think, no, it's not 1 point. That's excitement. 4-3-27 to 1-3-9. Hawthorn leads Carlton on the Loaded Dog scoreboard. The Loaded Dog Hotel scoreboard in North Fitzroy. And we're about to approach time on in a couple of minutes' time. But it's time on's just not quite ready for us yet, Trev.
As the ball comes out to the half-back flank for Carlton, Motley in front. Oh, not paid the mark there. Loveridge pressing him. Dippy and Domenico starring in this first quarter. Takes a couple of bounces. Look at the Brownlow medalist go as he shoots the ball in towards goal. But Gould taps it through for a back.
Okay, we've had a look at both coaches. Now, Julian, could I have special comments from you? How do you think they looked?
Yes, well, Alan Jeans looks definitely worried, but Robert Walls looks like a B-52 pilot with those passes.
Okay, Tony.
It's Des English relieving, and it goes on towards the members' side wing. It looks like it'll go out of bounds, and it does. About 23 minutes into the first quarter. 4-4-28 Hawthorn, 1-3-9 Carlton. And just a little bit of trivia for those that aren't watching the tally, that Carlton won by 28 points last time. Good knockout, Justin Madden unfortunately finds Terry Wallace. He looks towards Buckenara. Dorotich, a case of the fumbles there. Still holding on to Brewery, does a gorgeous George and got away with it too.
Charity freedom. Thompson for the 15.
Well, Carlton look in a lot of trouble to me. Hawthorn seem to be able to pressure them from one end of the ground to the other. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, Peter Motley's certainly fired up. Someone's been in his ear before the game.
And the ball's in the square at the moment. Tony.
It's Doolan Dunstall, the great evergreen Jason Dunstall chases the ball out. Unfortunately, it's the young Bruce still clearing for Carlton. Here the ball's running free in no man's land in the centre. Craig Bradley being very quiet. Good play, Abbott. Very good play, Abbott. Goes to Terry Wallace. He'll find someone in the crowd. There he is. Just got it there.
Okay, what's the atmosphere up in the members? They'd all be supporting Carlton. Are they getting a bit down in the dumps, Chris?
No, there's actually quite a bit of share trading going on up here, Jeff. They've picked up on the latest New York market, so they're quite happy, not worrying about the game. Just making money.
Thanks a lot, Chris. We'll pick up play again now. Trevor.
And Motley in the van once again takes the mark, and he'll look to send Carlton further up the ground. He gets the ball towards the centre. Tuck and Meldrum having a good duel, but Kernahan comes from behind and takes a good mark. Wastes no time. Gets the handball on to Reece Jones, who kicks in towards centre half forward. But there in the way is Schwab, who takes a strong mark at centre half back. He's wastes no time. Play on. Takes a bounce. Kicks the ball downfield, over the centre, towards centre half forward, but to no one in particular, and it's Dean coming out to take the mark in front of Curran. Reece Jones putting the elbow in there.
Somebody tap Reece Jones.
But the umpire calling Dean back over the mark, a very rare occurrence in football today. What is the umpire doing? Dean sets himself now, he boots the ball. Over the wing, they set themselves. Kernahan in front again, can't take the mark. Loveridge is there. Tuck gets a quick left foot kick out towards the wing position. Buckenara grabs the ball. He's tackled by Harms. Johnson comes through, but Swab kicks the ball off the ground towards the 50-metre line on Hawthorn's forward line. Dorotich takes the ball on the left foot, and he hits the boundary line.
Okay, after that ball's gone over the boundary, I'd like to cross back down to the Duncan Wright committee. Carlton looking an awful lot of trouble to me. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of trouble. I'm having a bit of trouble seeing the game. This idiot behind me keeps flapping that Hawthorn jumper over my head, and if he doesn't stop, I tell you what, there will be a bit of blood spilled here.
Okay, Tony.
But no doubt the blood will be spilled when the bloke's not looking. That's your caper. Ball goes out of bounds, 55 yards out from the Hawthorn goal. Members side with the Hawks in attack. Curran will do battle with Justin Madden. Madden, as expected, wins. Gives the ball to Motley, giving his utmost. But I think we're going to say, come back. Peter Cameron wants to have another look at the ball.
Okay, Tony, I want to take some more special comments now. Peter Endersby up in the members. How do you see the game at this stage?
Jeffrey, it's a very difficult thing as South Australian here because we really want to see our boys do well here at the big game.
And they're not doing all that well.
Well, Motley, I think, is putting in a pretty good exhibition so far. I'm quite happy with the boy up to now.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be if I was his coach, Tony.
Free kick in the back to Reece Jones. Ayres on the mark, and what a great job Ayres is doing at the moment. The big calculated risk has been taken by Alan Jones, playing Ayres up the field. Oh, Sellers McLeod just jumped straight into the back of his Hawthorn opponent. And it's on that blue turf, and isn't nature a marvellous thing now? Like, I can only grow green grass in the backyard, but just for it's going international today, God's created some blue and white grass.
It looks like they're on a trampoline up close, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And the ball's bounced rather nicely, just like he bounced it on a trampoline. Abbott kicks high. Good play, Dipper Domenico. Real good play, Dipper Domenico. That's even better play as the running Ayres goes towards Dunstall and Dool. Who we got there? In the middle of Buckenara. If the ball bounces up. If the ball bounces. Oh! Maradona! Full point, Buckenara. 5-4, 34, 1-3-9. Hawthorn lead on the loaded top scoreboard.
Tony, Greg, Trevor, I would think that's the fourth time so far in the game Hawthorn have kicked the ball off the ground, and every time it's been to advantage. Twice it's been as good as a kick downfield, and that time it would have to be the goal of the match so far. Duncan Wright, boys, any comment on the kicking off the ground?
I'm going home shortly. I'm barracking for Carlton. We're not doing too flash.
Tony?
Yeah, well, it does appear just at the moment that Hawthorn hold the wood, and I think the main reason is they're getting no drive out of the middle since Blackwell's gone off. Bradley appears to be being well tagged by Ede. Good punch again from... Oh, now here's a chance coming up. Johnson falls over at the crucial moment. Gets tackled. Well done, Chris Langford. Kicks the ball out. Flatten. Gutsy mark, Johnny Flatten. As I was about to say, I think Eads doing a pretty effective job on Bradley in the middle. And here he goes again. By Jingos, he's knocked up, getting kicks this quarter. Gary Ayres goes long in the direction of Brereton. Dorotich is there as well. Curran meets Motley. Motley gets the ball. Will he handball to Dean? On the second thought he will. Justin, bend over. He can't. Dear, bend over. He can't. Justin didn't have to bend over because the ball came back and the ball goes on towards the wing on the member side. Russo there with Tuck. Good knock away. Well done, Terry Wallace. They've got plenty of numbers everywhere. Gary Ayres gives the ball back then to Peter Russo. Carlton have the numbers here, but Brereton gets it high. Nothing he can do. Des English tries to run the ball out. Johnny Platten drops the ball. Play on's the call from the umpire as Meldrum picks up. And it's in the time on as Meldrum finds the running Reece Jones on the member side.
Great tackle.
Gary Ayres, McClure runs through now. Come on, Captain, you've got it. He bounces the ball like I used to when I was over at football.
The tackling's unbelievable.
And I think he's going to play holding the ball. And I think that's a pretty tough decision, but it's symptomatic of how the Blues are going at the moment, Trevor.
Oh, they can't take a trick, Carlton, at the moment. They've been beaten all over the ground. What a game Ayres is playing in the first quarter.
Wayne Johnson's attempt earlier, one man out.
Gets the handball across the East, who drives into centre half forward. Brereton up high once again, but once again doesn't take the mark. The handball comes through to Des English, who's looking for Bradley. That's one of his first touches. He goes for a bounce, kicks the ball, long for Carlton, in towards goal, but no, offline and out of bounds for a throw-in beside the point post in Carlton's forward pocket.
Tony, it seems to be all solo efforts by the Carlton players, and Hawthorn seem to have numbers everywhere the ball is.
Yeah, Hawthorn just at the minute teaming a little bit better as it's about 26 minutes into the quarter. And Champs, what do you got to say?
The tackling, Loveridge's tackling, super. Carlton will have to do something quick.
Yeah, perhaps a few many bowls of rigatoni have been eaten by the Carlton players during the week. Kernahan does battle with Langford, who's doing a surprisingly good job in the ruck. Wallace kicks the ball down, stacks on the mill once again. Don't pay in the back arm, don't pay. He didn't as Peter Cameron. I thought he might fall for that one there. As it's happened a few times during the year, it's about 20 yards out in front of the Carlton goal. 5-4, 34 Hawthorn, 139 Carlton. It's the Loaded Dog Hotel in North Fitzroy, the pub where you can get as much beer as you can possibly.
Wayne Johnson, great snap.
Snaps over the shoulder. The ball's still in play. Knock it out, Hawks. They do. Glasgow can't get the ball. Well done, Loveridge.
Once again, though, it's solo efforts from Carlton.
Charity free kick's been paid here. You reckon Loveridge got into Glasgow's back after the ball across the line, and Glasgow will line up from a very acute angle on the forward pocket. Nothing in that incident, an absolute charity free kick. The umpire obviously seeing this game slipping away from Carlton, trying to even up a bit here as Glasgow coming in from the boundary line. Look, and he's threaded it through for 1 point. And only a point to Carlton. Disappointing the result. They'll need to do better than that Greig champion.
Bradley's one of the big differences. He needs to get some touches there. They've got to get some drive out of the centre.
He's not the only one either.
Every time they get the ball, they're swarmed by Hawthorn jumpers, the Carlton players.
Tony Leonard.
And I reckon when Chris Muir gives up football, he can get a job as a used car salesman looking like that. Beautiful kick onto the member side wing. And that's just typical. They're harassing Carlton as soon as they can get the ball. Well done, Chris Langford.
I thought Carlton already were harassed a couple of prisons back.
27 and a half minutes, 28 minutes into the first quarter. The first stander is almost over in the 1986 Grand Final. Looking for some inspiration from Reece Jones. Great handball to McClure. Looking in the direction of Mew. Finds him, unfortunately, for Carlton. Unfortunately, here goes Bernie Evans. Bernie, can he shoot it round? He does, but unfortunately, Loveridge playing a loose man. Oh, a bit of butter on the fingers there as it slips through.
Carlton desperately need a goal in time on before the siren goes here.
Chris Muir is looking very poised, and he's grown his moustache quite a bit.
Oh, I think he's got a bit of an advantage on pace playing on Hunter at the moment. He doesn't look to be moving too freely at all.
5-4-34 Hawthorn, 1-5-11 Carlton. Almost the first quarter gone in the 1986 Grand Final, being brought to you by the Loaded Dog. Great kick out by Loveridge. Fine Schwab. He's running in front of all those members and how they love the Hawthorn side. He goes towards Curran, and well shepherded by Curran. He needs some inspiration. Unfortunately, runs over the ball. Bounces the ball. He goes towards goal. Don't tell me he's kicked it. He hasn't kicked it. It's 1 point. It's still 1 point.
Well,
now.
what an unbelievable passage of play. Loveridge took forever to kick it off, still found a man on his own, and they nearly got a goal without a single Carlton player touching the ball, which is symptomatic of it. And here they're going for the pathetic short pass. There's nowhere else to go. Tony.
Alvin on the outer side, looking towards Motley and Dipper. Good mark, Motley, but I think Dipper will give away 15 and just try to hold it up. Doesn't give away 15, but holds it up so his men can get up the ground.
Motley was not able to move Dipper.
Trevor.
Yeah, he actually did pay the 15 there eventually as Motley gets his kick in. It grabs along Hunter. He doesn't know what to do. He drops the ball, grabs hold of by Wallace, and Wallace gets the free kick. Oh, he's looking sadly out of touch, Hunter. Wallace drives the ball for Hawthorn up to the wing. Curran's in front, and he takes a strong mark in front of Dean and cops one for his corner in the face. He looks Buckenara looking for the handball. Curran looking upfield. Drive Hawthorn further into attack. Up towards centre half forward. Burton in front again. And takes a strong mark. Dorotic, you can't play from behind against this bloke. Reece Jones is in there with the arms up, but that you've got to do more than that, son. As Burton finds Dunstall, who's led out in front of the ageing Bruce Thor. And Dunstall, 50 metres out from the Hawthorn goal, will line up Tony Leonard.
And I'll tell you something too. If he was, he looks like he'd enjoy a 4 and 20 or a Herbert Adams, young Jason.
While he lines this one up, I might just cross back up the members. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I've discussed it up here, Jeff. Why are we paying all these Carlton players millions of dollars to perform like dogs? Cannot believe it.
And while they're performing like dogs, Buckenara's performing like a god or a near god with that amazing bit of play, Tony.
I think he was a bit overconfident after that incredible Maradona goal before. That was a bit out of the realms, I think.
It's almost the first quarter. We're going in towards the 31st minute. Wayne Harms goes long straight up the middle, looking into direction, and finds Terry Wallace.
That is shocking play.
It's 5-6, 36 to 1, 5-11. Within trouble, Buckenara well thumped away. Now come on, Wayne, set it up. He does. And here he goes, the running Bernie Evans. Needs some inspiration, Carl. He goes long in towards the running Tommy Alvin. Everyone's running, which they haven't done before. Looks towards Mark McClure. Well edged out, Mark McClure. Rowan Robinson on the left foot. Go long, son. Kicks it towards Kenny Alvin. No need to. It's the first quarter. 5-6, 36,
But they don't do things like big old band of heart. Tommy Alvin's a beauty. Greggy Phillips is quite good. Jimmy Jess is Jimmy Jess. But Dermot Brereton is a hood. Now Dermot Brereton is a hood. Dermot Brereton is a hood. He had an ugly childhood, and he'll never be any good. I wouldn't try to tell you as if I didn't think I should. He's your classic Aussie knucklehead. Dermot Brereton is a hood. Now some men catch the umpies' eyes, some just do their jobs. Some are trim and fit, and some are slobs. Some are quite intelligent, some misunderstood. Some are well brought up, but Dermot Brereton is a hood. Now Dermot Brereton is a hood. Dermot Brereton is a hood. A bloke that comes from Frankston could never be any good. Anyone who knew him would know he never could. In plain old Aussie English, Dermot Brereton is a hood.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on CAAA FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St. George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brews of fine ales and stouts.
Well, Chris, Helen, I want to cross to the next of your interviews that you did down at the ground during the day. Who are you talking to here?
Kangaroo Bob. Kangaroo Bob. No, it's definitely Kangaroo Bob. It's the man who's come out, in fact, from Disneyland, especially for this grand final.
Is that one of those animals that Olivia was talking to?
One of the ones that you
She was talking to us, Jeff. These are the furry animals.
Okay.
These, in fact, are the mascots, Jeff. For the first time, they're out there this year.
We'll hear from them.
John, how did you come to choose the character that you're going to be?
Well, I arrived at the member office in Collins Street, and being the first one there, they said, you know, what character would you like to play? And I said, well, give me the kangaroo if there's one, mainly because I drag for North Melbourne. So I chose the kangaroo.
How long have they been doing this, having the different characters?
This is the first year as far as I know. I would say it is the first year because the costumes were made specifically for the day, 1986 Grand Final Day.
And what sort of training do you actually have to do to be a VFL mascot?
Well, there's not a great deal of training. I have a lot of training in the early years with Disney on Parades, Flintstones, and Sesame Street Live. They were shows that toured Australia, Asia, and the United States. So I was contacted by Perry's agency, and so I said, fine, yeah, I'll do it.
Do you think this is in the same league as Disney on Parade?
Oh, no, nowhere near it. I mean, it's a great day, but it's nowhere near the Disney on Parade, the Flintstone days.
Well, when you come to the football normally, do you come dressed in a kangaroo suit?
No, I come dressed in a wind cheater and jeans, just like any other fan.
So is it a big thrill to be able to get out on the ground dressed as a symbol of North Melbourne?
Yes, particularly on grand final day, it is a big thrill, but unfortunately North Melbourne's not in the grand final this year, so, well, I suppose I'm the next best thing.
Do they actually get you to come along for a number of nights for training?
No.
So there's not a particular dance routine that they teach you?
No, there's no particular dance routine for the day, but get out there and do your best, that's the motto.
Bob, what's your opinion about North Melbourne's decision to sell shares to the public?
I think it's better than going interstate. Yes, much better. No, I'm in agreement. I've bought shares, so I'm happy.
And do you have to actually hop to be a kangaroo, or can you run?
No, well, the boots that we've got are a size 16. Believe it, it's a size 16. So we're just going to have to run the best we can and move the best we can. Maybe I'll have a hop or two here and there, but I doubt it.
Well, good luck with your hopping.
Right, thanks very much.
That was Kangaroo Bob, who I think is probably down in the bowels of the MCG taking his kangaroo suit off at this stage. Who else did you talk to?
Who arranged this entire extravaganza for, as I said before, $100,000 went into the pre-show that we didn't see much of on the television. So we had a chat to him about how he did it all, and he definitely thought it wasn't the same as Moomba.
Well, we'll have a bit more of that stuff later on in the day, and also we'll be talking to a great grand final player, Neil Barm, at half-time. But just before the ball bounces, I want to cross round all our specialist commentators just to assess how the game's gone so far. Up in the members, Chris?
Well, Jeff, the Sydney supporters down here are really wondering what's going on out in the ground. You've got 36 players and you've only got 2 colour schemes. I mean, you need a bit of colour and action to get people into a game, not people running around in these drab blue and whites and grey and brown.
A few more kangaroo bobs.
Oh, just some oranges and pinks and yellows, the sort of things you see in the New South Wales Parliament.
And perhaps a bit of tasteful grey. Okay, thanks, Chris. Look, I'll cross down now just for a few quick words from Bay 13. Julian?
Yes, the thing I want to have a look at are Gary Buckenara's neon boots.
Oh, we'll get a close look at them in a minute. Tony, the ball's about to be bounced.
Blackwell back on.
Yes, big move. Blackwell back on. Peter Cameron bounces the ball. And once again, Justin Madden hits the ball out. Let's see if the Blues can do something. Bernie Evan kicks towards Michael Tuck. Well knocked away by Hawthorn. Gary Ayres, best man on the ground, kicks the ball to Tucky, the skipper. And the skipper goes through the middle without any apparent pressure from Carlton. Goes towards Dunstall and he's got him again. And I think Brucey Newell's got his hands full just at the moment. Dunstall sees a lead there. I don't think it's going to carry to Curran. It doesn't, and Wayne Blackwell back on the ground will relieve the pressure for Carlton. He handballs towards the running Claskett. Claskett on the members' wing. Has to double back. There's nowhere to go. He finds Desi English. Desi English very coolly picks out Wayne Arms. But, boys, you've only travelled about 15 yards. It's still Hawthorn in attack. If the ball goes towards the centre, Alvin mucks it up. Don't pay it up. He doesn't. They run into each other, and now Hawthorn's got the ball. Dropping the ball on time. Must pay it towards Carlton. And Wayne Johnson in the middle of the ground will put the Blues into attack, and boy, do they need a goal. Half a minute in the second quarter, 36 plays 11 on the Loaded Dog scoreboard. Hawthorn knocked the ball away well, and running towards the boundary line is Peter Russo. Half forward plate with the Blues in attack.
Hunter hasn't had a touch, and is Russell Morris on the ground?
No, not playing, Chance. I think he's got a gig somewhere. Anyway, it's that's an oldie from the park. That's a little chestnut.
They're running into dead ends everywhere, Carlton, everywhere they go.
Okay, Hunter on the bottom of the pack, and I think it'll be ball up again. 65 yards out, members side with Carlton in attack. Half forward flank. 5-6-36 Hawthorn. 1-5-11 Carlton. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery in North Fitzroy bringing you all the action from the 3RRR simulcast. Kernahan can't get the knocked out. Knocked out well by Terry Wallace. Who can pick it up? It's still Stacks. Well, it's more like rather than Stacks on the mill. It was more Stack on the mill then, Trevor. It was only One or two there.
Yes, so that they give it back to the white mongrel who'll ball it up once again. He slaps it into the turf. Kernahan gets the tap out, but straight to that Burwood United boy, Schwabby, who puts it out on the full. The free kick will go to Desi English, having a field day on the half-back flank there. Desi kicks the ball. Long kick for Des. Up towards the 50-metre line for Carlton. Kernahan comes out. He's grabbed by Schwab. Gets the handball to Johnson, but nowhere to go. Has the ball held to him by Greg Deere. And back to that white mongrel again, Tony.
Peter Cameron, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Hawthorn holding a rather handy 25-point lead. First knock to Deere for the day, I'd say. Gets it in the direction of the best man, Gary Ayres. The ball's running towards the boundary. Alvin and Dipper. Into Dipper's back. And I'll tell you something, I reckon that might have hurt a little bit.
And Justin Madden using Dipper's head to help himself up there. After getting all over his back. Has the umpire paid the free there, Tony? No
free.
Ball in.
And like two great big sumo bears, the ruckman bugger it up, so no one gets it, goes straight to the Hawthorn player. And it's probably just centre side or just check side of the centre, with Hawthorn slightly in attack on the member's side.
What is a sumo bear, Tony?
Right,
You're mixing your metaphors here, mate.
Thanks very much. Peter Russo drives towards the Hawks into attack, and it's about 35 yards around and starting to look dangerous. Hawthorn in attack, halfway between half forward flank and forward pocket.
Pretty unattractive passage of play here. The ball's been bottled up on this member's side for the last couple of minutes as we wait for the throw-in. Curran and Madden. Madden from behind gets the fist onto it. Gets it to Motley. Gets a handball to no one in particular. They go through. Loveridge has got the chance to pick it up, but it beats him over the line once again for another throw-in. Play slowing right down here, Greg Champion.
No flow at all. They should talk to each other a bit more.
Yeah, let each other have a bit of a kick.
Well, maybe Hawthorn's system's starting to break down a little bit too. Maybe we can see Carlton claw their way back into it now. But still, it's Glascott there on the bottom of the pile. I think it was Glascott there, and the umpire calls for another ball up.
Come on, boys. Relax a bit and enjoy yourself.
And 5, 6, 30, 6,
Thanks,
1,
Coach.
5, 11. Thanks, Coach Champion. It's about 5 minutes in. All the action of the Triple R simulcast being brought to you by the Loaded Dog. Peter Russo kicks towards the ball. The running Russell Green. He has a kick. Can Bruce Bill get there? Dunstall beats him. And it's the It's a goal!
It's a miracle goal.
6-42 Hawthorn, 1-5-11 Carlton. And I just wonder now, the Hawks have broken the deadlock in this quarter. Can they go away?
Okay, we'll take some special comments now down in Bay 13. Julian Phil, you there?
Yes, Jeff, I must have missed something because I just took a trip down to the toilet and this old bloke was standing next to me and all he could say was dirty, isn't it? So I don't know whether he's talking about the game or what.
Okay, I'll check up in the members. How's the action up there?
Well, it's a little bit hard to know who to barrack for here, Jeff. Platten with Hawthorn and the other South Australians with Carlton, but seems to be a bit of a nerves case for me out there at the moment. And the crowds, the thing that's fascinating me, they love their football over here in Melbourne.
Do they love their Carlton though? Chris, have all the tops given up on Carlton?
Oh, the share trading's a bit quiet, Jeff, but they're just going to make a late rush at the end of the game. I think they've got the umpire bribed or something. You can't have the working class winning in this sort of contest.
Watch out for Kernahan.
Okay, we'll come back to the main com box now. Greg.
Yeah, I reckon it's a mark that he's going to pay to Kenny Hunter there. Oh no, it's around the neck to Bernie Evans.
They've thrown Bernie Evans into the centre here. They're trying to get a bit of life happening in the centre of the ground.
He sees the lead from the running Ken Hunter, but well knocked on in this Hawthorn defence, standing like 6 rocks of Gibraltar, even though there's only the one. Langford finds Curran on half-back flank member side, and the handball of the Hawks keep going. Terry Wallace handballs in towards, let's have a look at it, it's Rocket Rodney Eve. Eve goes towards Brereton. Brereton another handball back to Eve. And they're really running well. Goes towards Buckenara. Oh, he'll just about kick this, I reckon. Buckenara goes, look, it's a goal! Well called, Tony, you champion!
Hawthorn are kicking goals from everywhere. The riding is on the...
Fine ales and stouts bring you the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast. The Loaded Dog, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy.
Castle Brown Ale now from the Loaded Dog. We have the Newcastle Brown, 4.5% alcohol, good drop. Not quite as good as the Krombacher, Tony.
And don't forget, if you want to go on a pub crawl, all you need to do is go to the Loaded Dog. They've got about 600 or 700 varieties that they make of their own, and you can get a can of Foster's there as well. Justin Madden gets the palm out again, but Terry Wallace sharking once again, and Buckenara the day danger man. Goes towards hotly pressed now. It appears that there's a change because Peter Dean on him now. Good handball back towards Curran. Hotly pressed by Carlton. Now let's just see. The ball has been declared out of bounds on the full.
Tony, hotly pressed.
That means
on his hammer.
On his hammer.
Okay, Trevor.
All right, the ball on Hawthorn's half-forward flank. Did it a minute ago. Gets the handball out to Buckenara. Didn't have it when he was grabbed by Alvin, and the umpire comes in and pays the free kick to Buckenara.
Okay, perhaps the free kick situation seems to be going Hawthorn's way. Maybe it's because they're in front. Well, I'll check with the boys down in Bay 13. What's your verdict on the free kicks?
Oh, I think there's too many being given to Hawthorn.
But surely if they're in front, they should be getting them. Phil?
Yeah, but if you're in front, you deserve to get a whack in the mouth, Jeff, I reckon. So you shouldn't be paid a free kick for it.
Okay, back to the main com box. Tony.
And I reckon you've been in front of your time too, Phil. Anyway, the running Dorotich. Oh, cross! Russell Green. Right on the head too. He's just told him a funny joke. That's what's happening. He's laughing his head off at the moment. He's got the ball. He'll kick the ball right into the square. Here we've got Dunstall and we've got Brewster. If it bounces again, well, there's in shocking trouble. And well done, Brewster.
Well done, or panic stations. Brewster quite clearly ran it across the line there, but wasn't prepared to keep the ball in play. Trevor.
Oh, Desi English didn't look as though he wanted that ball at all then. Still kicks out for Carlton towards Justin Madden. But Deer spoils the ball, gets across to Eade. Eade has the kick smothered, but follows up again. In front there is Ayres once again on the half-forward line for Hawthorn. Bradley gets a kick in, hotly pressed by Curran. Up towards Blackwell, can't take the mark. Meldrum comes through, tackled by Tuck. McClure, he gets one of his rare touches as he kicks the ball in towards centre half forward. The goal umpire has a good look at it. It bounces, but only 1 point. Only 1 point to Carlton.
Tony.
7-7, 49, 1-6-12. Hawthorn lead by a very handsome 37 points. The loaded dog in North Fitzroy bringing you all the action. And he's the man of the moment, just at the moment. Because he's got the ball at the moment, and that's Gary Ayres.
He's all over the ground, Tony.
He is on the... And Peter Dean knocks the ball down. McClure trying to lift his side. Goes towards Kenny Hunter and Chris Mew. Well done, Mew. Well done, Glasgow. And here's the answer coming up for Carlton. 6 points, there it is. Well done by Mark McClure. 2-6-18 to 7-7-49.
And that's on the loaded dog scoreboard, but that's still 5 goals Hawthorn's way. The goals are very few and far between for Carlton. Now, Greg, you were down at Carlton this morning. The mood was pretty good while you were there.
Well, they were right into it, and they'll be crying now because they're gone, Carlton. See you later. Hawks forever.
Were they confident this morning when you were there?
I didn't ask them. I was too disappointed.
Do you think they might have been overconfident?
Yeah, that could be the problem.
The ball's bounced now. Trevor.
In the true showbiz tradition there, Greg. The bounce comes. Deer gets the tap over the head. Kernahan comes out. Langford tackling him. But it comes back. Hawthorn, quick kick out of the pack. Looking down towards Curran. Beats him. Dorotich gets to the ball first. Gets a short kick in towards Reece Jones. Handball.
Great hand pass, Reece Jones.
Constructive handball. As Dean looking for Meldrum. Tucks there with him. Mew behind the pack. Takes the crumbs and kicks towards Loveridge. He's underneath it. Oh, Reece Jones puts the forearm into the head, and I think the umpire is going to pay a free kick there. Oh, Reece Jones remonstrating there, but no doubt about it, Reece. Get your mind on the football, son. Loveridge.
I think that's worth comments from down at Bay 13.
Oh, he's got a big 8 out of 10 for that one. Shifty Root.
Tony, back in the main com box.
Here he is again, Gary Buckenara, 55 metres out. And I'll tell you something, he could go back and just about roost this, I reckon, Buckenara. 49, 2-6-18, about 13 minutes into the quarter.
Tony, I think it's indicative of the way the Carlton playing. Peter Dean could have marked that, and he chose to punch it away. Trevor.
And the throw-in comes, a quick kick by Wallace out of the pack with the left foot, but just offline, I feel, and 1 point to Hawthorn, and Hawthorn going further and further ahead.
Okay, we'll just take some quick comments again down from Bay 13.
Now, I think, Jeffrey, that really proves you are a Coodabeen champion, because as you know, and the great when behind, what do you do, Jeff?
He was the only person who touched the ball, Phil.
Yes, but you must punch.
Okay, back to Tony in the main com box.
No need to come back to me, Jeff, because the ball's out of bounds.
Well, we'll continue that argument. The point I'm making, Phil, is that Carlton are playing very defensive, and they've got goals to kick, not out of bounces to punch.
I think they're in a state of dramatic panic, a bit like Coburg in the 86 VFL Grand Final.
Back to the main com box, Tony.
Les got over his head, the ball on the members' wing, trying to put Carlton into attack. Platten gets a... Well, not even a handball. I don't put it down, stats boys, because Bernie Evans is right in the middle, on the wing.
Yeah, Carlton have done a lot of knocking out of bounds. If they'd all been goals, they'd be in it. Trevor, back in the main game.
All right, the throw in again. Schwab gets the left handball out towards Green. He's pressed by Harms. Foxing for the free kick, but gets out with the handball. Flick handball across the weed. He gets the ball moving across to Russo. Russo will turn. He's looking to swing onto the right foot. He's looking for Brereton. Too far for him, and Dorotich comes out and takes the strong mark from behind. Brereton not too keen to let go of him either. Brereton.
Carlton. Here's Dorotich.
Carlton needs someone to go in and kick a few heads at the moment. It's the only way they're going to get up.
Oh, Johnson almost...
But not quite. Oh, he got it away well anyway. Tony.
He certainly got it away well, but not much is happening just at the moment. Tommy Alvin gets the ball out. Now let's see what Carlton can do. Hunter leads Mew in the race. Cruel bounce though for both players. Langford knock it out. Gives Bradley a whack across the mush. Kenny Hunter, here's his chance to get into the game on the 50-metre line. He goes long, but Tucky's got the ball.
Oh, casual as you like in the last
And what a mongrel Tucky was, buggering up Carlton's best bit of play for the day. But
now, if Michael Tuck had been in a Carlton player's position, he would have punched that through the goals for a point as he kicks it back into play. Trevor.
Right, the kick from Tuck finds Reece Jones, takes it, and he lines up the goal. And the goal umpire having a close look at it, and it's straight through the middle.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on 3RRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
I thought Reece Jones had a character reversal in the second semi when he played that exemplary game of football, but he's back to his violent ways today.
But he's playing pretty well for Carlton. He's one of their few good ones. Tony.
He's put in from early in the game.
And Carlton just, I think, starting to come back in a little bit. 7-8-50. Hawthorn leading Carlton 3-6-24. Ball goes up. Good knock by Deere. Deere knocks the ball. The running Wallace. Great gutsy play, Terry Wallace. That's the stuff men are made of. Platten isn't, though. Having long hair like that, that's the stuff girls are made of. But at least he gets the free kick anyway. About 60 yards out. And that's the stuff that men are made of, looking like Dorotich.
Puts great attitude.
But men will be men and boys will be boys. Platten looking towards Brereton. Great pass. Now, I'll tell you what he did then. He looked towards the centre, kicked it off the side of his boot, and that's exactly where Brereton led to. And I'll tell you something, the crowd, I reckon Brereton will dob this from the boundary line as well.
Copybook chess mark too, wrapped his
big statement there, Tony.
Yeah, real big statement. Good mark, Peter Motley, on the last line of defence, as safe as the bank.
Okay, what's he going to do with this? Trevor Marmalade.
I think he will. I think he's going to kick to a big pack of players and nothing will happen. That's what I think will happen if Carlton, if there's anything to go by. But Motley kicks the ball. But wrong, I was wrong again. Kicked it straight to Langford, who takes the strong mark, and he'll kick Hawthorn into the teeth of goal. Langford looking for the lead made by Dunstall. Reece Jones is in front. Dunstall still gets the punch away. Comes across to Tommy Alvin. Blackwell's there too. He takes the ball. Grabbed by Ayres. Dippy Domenico jumps onto it like a seagull on a piece of fat, and he kicks in towards goal, but it's off target, and it'll be a throw-in beside the point post for Hawthorn.
I'll tell you something, if Hawthorn want to stem this avalanche of goal by Carlton, they're going to have to score from here. 7-8-50, 3-6-24, 26 points in the ascendancy. Hawthorn on the Loaded Dog scoreboard. Good knock, Justin Madden. Straight to Peter Dean. Good play, Peter Dean. And let's see how they're running. Not Sam Groper, Crow Eater can set it up. He sets it up to the running Reece Jones. Carlton's in the direction of Meldrum. The ball's in no man's land. Peter Russo leads Bernie Evans in the race for the ball, and he'll repel the attack. Well done, Gary Ayres. Knocks the ball to Wallace, who's having a field day at the moment. Wallace kicks the ball up to absolutely no one because Dorotich falls over. Van Ingerman, slippery out there, boys. Well done, Peter D. Good effort, Peter Curran. Dived on the ball, put his body in when it really counted.
There's the difference. The Carlton players would have been content to see that one go over the line.
You've got to hand it to Reece Jones. He cops it as well as dishes it out, and Peter Motley is in everything, and he is trying well for Carlton.
And if anyone knows what won the fourth race in Sydney, could they please ring the studio?
Into the second quarter as the ball goes out of bounds, half forward flank with the Hawks in attack on the outer side.
Trevor Marmalade.
All right, the throw-in, once again, that seems to be all we've seen this quarter. Throw-ins and more throw-ins. It'll be Curran and Madden. Curran's got the front berth, gets the tap out. Blackwell spins out of the pack, grabbed by Ayres, and more untidy football. Brereton tries to get a handball out. Comes to Motley, it's near the boundary line, and it'll go over once again, courtesy of Platten there.
And to think that Carlton almost got Johnny Platten too, they would have got the whole four quality players from Adelaide. It would have been sickening.
Well, there's not much quality being seen there at the moment as the ball comes in now, Tony.
It's certainly Madden knocks the ball straight into the arms of Eade. Eade puts the big bomb just like they do in rugby union. Jason Dunstall, good effort, good tackle Dunstall. Well done Johnny Flat, good handle. Bacanara after a one. Goal!
Okay, we'll cross down to the Duncan Wright committee. What a passage of play. Dunstall spoiled for the mark, but still managed to scrag, which caused the goal in the finish. Phil?
Yes, it was a beautiful goal, Jeff. Beautiful goal.
Phil?
In a lot of trouble, Jeffrey Carlton. I think that was a very bad error.
Also, Hawthorn's desperation level, they just don't seem to be able to match it.
Yes, they're very good. Too big and strong and sort of running like men possessed, like Tony Leonard style, barging through the pack.
They look like they want to win the game. I'm going to try and cross back up to the members. Are you there?
Yeah, we are.
Chris is there. Okay, yep.
It's a bit of a toss-up what looks worse, Gary Bacanara's boots or Bruce Dill's haircut.
And play's underway. It's back now with Trevor Marmalade.
All right, the ball's loose. Brereton comes through, tries to hit Rhys Jones with an elbow. Carlton player collects his own man Evans there. Ball comes to Deere. He's trying to get the free kick. I think the umpire will fall for that one. Pays holding the man to Greg Deere.
He said, well called, Trev.
Greg Deere swings under the left boot, driving Hawthorn into attack again. Platten's in front, almost held it. Harms gets a sloppy Hamstein, who gets the kick towards Dippy Domenico. He gets around Alvin. Look at the Brownlow medalist go as he kicks towards Bacanara in front. Motley spoils. Rhys Jones is there. Ayres is in the van as well, but the ball falls to Motley. He kicks towards Johnson. Johnson takes the chest mark.
That'll be his second kick, I think.
Swings onto the right boot, Johnson. Not a very good kick, but it finds Blackwell anyway. I think they'll pay the mark to Blackwell. Bit lucky to be paid there, but maybe a mark.
Chance for a score here, Tony Leonard.
Yeah, Blackwell about 53 metres out directly in front. And the runner seems to be out to Blackwell a lot. He goes with a short pass to Ken Hunter and finds him. Well, I'll tell you something. He's had some important kicks in his life, Kenny Hunter, and I suppose I say this every year, but by jingoes, this is the most important kick he'll have in a long, long time.
While he takes this kick, we'll just cross for a race result. Trevor?
Yeah, full page, Trevor. Kenny Hunter lining the ball up. The ball's going in 1 point. And that's a very, very desperate...
A shocking miss. I would have backed him to kick that. Wonder what that race result again there, Tony.
Yeah, full page won the fourth in Sydney.
You happy, Trev?
I want to know second and third as well, though.
Oh, shut up, Trevor. 8-8-56 Hawthorn.
I had it in the Quinella.
3-7 Carlton. They lead by 31 points, but Wayne Harms has got the ball within kicking distance for Harms too. He goes long. I told you, have a look at that. Have a look at that free kick. It's a mark to Kernan. I'd pay it, no doubt whatsoever.
Oh, Langford, a great kick. Put it right through the middle for Carlton then, for a point.
Gee whiz, I'd have paid that. Hawthorn lead by exactly 5 goals, 21 minutes in, and of course all the action on the Triple R simulcast being brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery. If you can't get pissed at our pub, you're not trying. Anyway, goes towards Schwab on the member side. Schwab kicks the ball in. Unfortunately, it's over. Throws the ball. It's the running Wallace. Wallace looking towards Dipper.
Hits him on the head.
Well done, Tommy Alvin. It's holding the man to Alvin. It must be holding the man to Alvin. It is holding the man to Alvin. And, well, I don't know. I think Tommy Alvin got to lift his game a bit, son. A bit like
that. You certainly mucked that one up just then.
I like the way he let the ball hit him on the head and then played for the free kick. Great play by Tommy
Okay,
Alvin.
Trev. Tom's kicking it up now. Where's it going?
Tommy will kick it towards the half-forward flank. Big pack of players there. Kernahan in front. Could almost have been paid. Another scrimmage developed. Johnson's on the bottom of it. The umpire will come in and he'll ball it up once again.
Okay, I'm going to cross back up to Peter Endersby. Carlton seem to be fighting each other for the ball.
They do. I'm flabbergasted. They seem to be having a bad case of the nerves still. I think it's going to be a last quarter job, Jeff.
It'll have to be. Okay, back in the main combox. Tony.
It's Richard Loveridge running for the ball. Carlton in attack. It's on the 50-metre line. Knock it out, son. You'll be penalised for holding the ball. What another great call from me. And John Russo penalises him, and it's a good call too. Wayne Blackwell trying to urge the Blues into attack. I think he was looking for Kenny Hunter then. Yes, I was right again. And he wasn't even in screen. We're really at the ground anyway. Wayne Blackwell, 45 metres out. He's found Kenny Hunter yet again. Steady up, Kenny, steady up. He goes in short, finds Glasgow, and Glasgow will be put on an angle, I would think. Well, he's about, shall we say, 12 metres out on about a 233-degree obtuse angle, but then again, I failed maths, so I'm probably talking to me head at the moment. But David Glasgow kicked 1 goal there, 5 goals down. And by jingoes, he's had some important kicks in his life, and I put this one down as one of them. Glasgow coming, and we'll watch this from the boot. Oh! No, too much pressure.
Right
39.27 Carlton. 88.56 Hawthorn. About to start time on, and the loaded Worley action.
He needs to grow a good moustache if he's going to kick goals like that. Wayne Harms could have got that.
Okay, I'm going to cross back up to the members stand now. The Grazier, what's the matter?
Well, obviously a check side kick there.
That was what was required or what he did?
Definitely what was required, not a Victorian drop punt.
Okay, the ball's back in play now. Trevor.
Mew kicks the ball out, looking for Tuck, but Meldrum's behind, takes a good mark, plays straight on, kicking the ball into the teeth of goal. But the ball will be through for 1 point again.
Hit one of the eye teeth, I think, rather than the one we were after. Is that Meldrum's first touch, anyone round the panel?
No, he's had a few touches, but...
him and Tuck have been, I don't think either of them had a great effect on the game
The
so
ball's
far.
back in play now, Tony.
Richard Loveridge, put under the pressure then by Chris Mew, but does it well. Loveridge sees a very short player. In short was Schwab, and he is short too. Gary Ayre's gone out of the game this quarter. Bernie Evans trying to dodge a few people on his left foot right on the boundary. Someone says leave it, they leave it, and the ball goes out of bounds. Between half forward and forward pocket out of side. 25 minutes into the quarter. Carlton are trailing by about 28 points. Need a goal here, Trevor.
Well, the play's been bottled up a lot this quarter. Abbott comes from behind, tries to get the tap out. A quick kick out of the pack by Hawthorn. Platten in front there, but roving the pack was Madden. Gets the ball, who swings onto the left boot and puts it through for a goal.
Well goal.
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery is supporters of the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast on 3RR FM. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
Well, Molly Meldrum must have heard us having a go at him. He's come through and kicked a goal. We've got some special comments now down from Bay 13. Julian.
Yes, he noticed that superb fumble from Justin Madden, set that goal up.
He's kicked two, Jeffrey.
Okay, back to the play now. Tony.
Carlton getting back into the game. Quarter only trail by 22 points. Gary Ayre's gone out of the game. Well blocked then by Wayne Johnson. It's desperate stuff. He knocks it out. Can Tuck get rid of it? He swung onto the left foot. Ball comes towards the half-forward flank. Alvin obviously playing on Dipper Domenico. But here comes the running Dortich. One bounce. He'll go long looking in the direction of Ken Hunter. Kenny Hunter, can he get there? No, he can't.
Looks a bit like Peter Sellers, that Dortich.
Yeah, in one of his movies when he was done up as a character.
And Richard Loveridge is out on the back pocket with the ball. Trevor Marmalade.
There's Mew found Loveridge there on the half-back flank. He's looking for Schwab further up along the wing, but the ball will beat him and Rhys Jones out of bounds once again.
Carlton are back into the game, bit by bit.
Yes, I think all the style and class has gone out of the game. The sting is definitely out of the game. It's been untidy football, and maybe Carlton can get back, but I think Hawthorn are still playing too well. Tony.
It's the running. Rhys Jones got the ball from good play from Madden at that out-of-bounds thing. A good pass then, a real good pass. And McClure's got the ball. McClure will play on. It goes towards right into the teeth of goal, looking for Kernahan. Can't grab it, Kernahan. Ball goes out of bounds. Right against the point post with Carlton in attack. 4:10:34 to 8:8:56, and as I said before, Carlton slowly but surely clip back into the game.
All right, the throw-in to take place in Carlton's forward pocket. Glascott taps the ball back out of bounds. More untidy football.
They just bring it around another 15 or so yards. Perhaps it'll give Carlton a better chance to kick a goal. It's 26 minutes into the quarter. Think there'll be a bit of time on this quarter. The ball appears to have been out a lot. Good punch at the back. Who tries to find Peter Cameron. He misses him. Molly Meldrum once again. Well, Shepherd Meldrum. He's going towards goal. Unfortunately, though, Terry Wallace in the last line of
a long kick. What was required there, Trevor?
Wallace gets the handball over the top to Mew, who in turn finds Loveridge, who drives the ball along the wing looking for Dipper Domenico. Green gets the tap beautifully back to Dipper. He gets a short kick in. Bradley's in the van. Coming through strongly is Buckanara, who swings onto the right foot. Dool and Dunstall come out. Dool paddling the ball in front, grabbed by Dunstall, ridden into the ground. We'll wait on the decision here from the umpire. I think you'll find the free will be to Dool.
I'd give the umpire a free for that.
Yes, the free kick to Dool there.
I think
Dunstall in his back.
The correct call's play on appears to have been well tackled with the knee going into the middle of the back.
I'd say there was a lot of sentiment in that one. Tony, take it away as English runs down the ground.
He runs down the ground, kicks the ball in the Hunter Mew direction. Well punched by Chris Mew. Well run through by Peter Russo. Kicked in danger by McClure. Umpire says play on.
Whatever happened to that rule?
Tuck, he went out the window. Tuck clears up again. Wallace's tackle very well by Blackwell and thrown to the ground. Des English can't bend down. Platten can. I think the ump must ball it up. He will. 27 and a half minutes into the quarter. 4:10:34 Carlton, trailing Hawthorn by 22 points, and the Loaded Dog bringing you all the action. 27 and a half minutes in. Peter Cameron, I think he could do well to go to Roland Bly. I think they advertise on that. The ball spot is starting to appear. Glasgow kicks the ball up in the air. But it's a free kick to Carlton, and I'll tell you something, if they can score now, 16 points is nothing in modern football. You can get back into the game. Justin Madden, unfortunately for Carlton's got the ball, though. Justin kicks the ball down, looking for Ken Hunter, and they spoil each other. Not quite. Chris Mew punches it through.
Carlton have got all their opportunities here, but Hawthorn seem to be able to bottle it up and prevent them from scoring. Trevor.
21 points the difference as Mew prepares to kick out from full-back once again. Carlton been in attack a bit more this quarter. Mew sinks the boot into it. Out towards Langford, who's made a lead, and takes a good mark in front of Kernahan. Kernahan won't make sure he'll get away too quickly there, though. Langford going back, looking for a player upfield. Goes in short. Ooh, bit dangerous, but Eade takes the pass. They're slowing the game right up at the concluding stages of the second quarter here as Eade looks down the field. Tony Leonard.
28 and a half minutes in. Peter Curry.
Reece Jones gets high.
Good play from McClure. Harms the running, harms Glasgow. Very interesting kick and found Kernahan. And I'll tell you something. No, go back and have your kick, son. No, don't look for a man up the ground. Have a shot. He said, no, don't kick it to Kenny.
I do it.
Okay, that's better. He's taken my advice. And what good advice it proved to be as the ball goes right into the teeth of the goals. But it's half-time here at the MCG.
Okay, and as people are heading off up to their bars and luncheons and whatever, I think it's time we heard from Lindsay Airport.
To buy every VFL team, to play all the games on the screen, to forget all the outer tomfoolery, to wear 14 pounds of bloody jewelry, to head every club's coterie, fattest cat in the fat cattery, on venues, to be ever so choosy, relaxing in Ron Barassi's jacuzzi. This is my quest in every football club bar, no matter how often Jimmy smashes my car, to stand smart and casual at each VFL function, to be willing to fight for the right to an exclusive club luncheon. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, then my gut will be bulging and round like McConnell's chest. And the game will be better for this. That one man, though he's thoroughly pissed, still strives for his lost whiskey and soda. So reach the unreachable.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on CRRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St. George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brews of fine ales and stouts.
And as Carlton fight back in the second quarter, they still trail, however. Hawthorn, 8 goals, 8, 56. Lead Carlton, 4 goals, 11, 35. And for the quarter, Carlton kicked 3 goals, 6, wasted a few opportunities, while Hawthorn kicked 3 goals, 2. So at half-time in the 86 grand final, it's Hawthorn, 8-8, 56, leading Carlton, 4-11, 35. And that's being brought to you, of course, by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery in North Fitzroy.
Well, I don't think Carlton fans should get too upset at the moment. It's going to be the magic third quarter that the Blues are known for, and it's coming up shortly. Chris and I went down to the MCG, as everyone knows, for the rehearsal.
Now, this is a Carlton man that you spoke to, Helen.
Well, actually, it's one of the 3 Footscray supporters in Melbourne, and everyone we seemed to interview at the MCG were, in fact, Footscray supporters. And we caught up with Bob Moores. He's the man that organises the whole extravaganza. We caught up with him as he was actually putting the dais together down in the tunnel.
Which, of course, has all been broken down now.
All broken down now and gone back for the Moomba Parade.
What's the fellow's name?
Bob Moores. When did you actually start planning what we were going to see on Saturday?
It's a fairly lengthy process, actually. It's about 3 months out from this weekend when we first start serious planning. You get into very complicated planning pretty soon after that. Of course, contact with Olivia was made even before that so that they could fit in with her schedule. But the overall process is about 3 months.
Bob, is it a bigger job than Moomba Festival?
No, it's not. It's not nearly as big as Moomba. Moomba has many more components. The VFL Grand Final is different in that sense that you have one spectacular event that all happens basically in half an hour as far as we're concerned. That's the pre-match entertainment. But it does have that sort of sense of urgency and importance there because you have a very large crowd, both physically on the ground watching and a very big television crowd right around the world nowadays. So there is a pressure to perform to the very best we can to make Melbourne look as good as possible.
So what did the VFL specify this time, and how did you actually come up with the ideas, for instance, like the Australian flag?
Yes, well, we're looking for something that represents what the nation is all about these days, and we feel that there's very strong national spirit here in Australia. I think it would be true to say that hasn't been the case in previous years. Now people do have more allegiance, if you can call it, to the flag. They know their song, Advance Australia Fair. We're gaining an identity for ourselves, and we're proud to be Australian. So we're trying to include as much of that in our presentation as possible. And of course that sort of links in with the current theme of our trade and manufacture and our internal buying and buy Australian made. So it's all mixed up with that.
But Bob, when I look at it, I get the impression that it's much more American than Australian, despite the flags and the slouch hats. The style and the music and the whole aura of it is very much taken, to my mind, from American television.
I think we have followed the trends of American style of presentation here in Australia for a great number of years, and we're probably still searching for that individual presentation of our own. When that'll come about, who knows. You're quite right, it's not a European style of presentation. It is much more American in the process.
We were noticing with the mascots that there's in fact not a Swans mascot. What's happened there?
Well, the Swans, each of the clubs, by the way, own their own mascot. And the Swans...
You mean the costumes, not the blokes inside?
Not the blokes inside, yeah, the costumes. And the Swans had one for 4 years, and it was getting a little bit ragged, and so they sent it away to be mended and cleaned up, and unfortunately it hasn't been ready for today's rehearsal. However, there is a duplicate one, and we'll have that ready for Saturday.
And Bob, how much does this all cost?
The main production is about $68,000, and then the sound is about another $30,000 on top of that. So it's around about $100,000.
And Bob, there's just one other thing. What's happened to the parachutists this year?
We were going to put them in again this year because I think they're quite startling. But we decided we did have them last year, and again you can get a bit repetitious with things, and people can get a little tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. But we are planning to do a mass parachute landing for next year.
Who are you supporting on Saturday?
Well, I'm a Footscray barracker, and we've been waiting since 1954 for another premiership. But looking at the two teams over the year, I would say that Hawthorn would have the edge.
I wanna be on a VFL task force and make some big decisions. Conduct investigations about behind-the-play collisions. I wanna be a league commissioner and do some relocations. I wanna be like Uncle Jack and arrange amalgamations. 'Cause they got a hungry heart, they got power to burn, they got angry minds, they got a lot to learn. I wanna chair committee meetings about admission prices, get involved in long debates about player payment rises. I wanna be on a VFL task force, decide the game's direction, take a tough position on state team selection. 'Cause they got a hungry heart, they got power to burn, they got angry minds, they got a lot to learn. A task force about private ownership, another one about violence. A task force about relocation to the Channel Islands. A task force about going to Brisbane, another one about staying behind. A task force about the possibility of South Melbourne changing their mind. They got a hungry heart, they got power to burn, they got angry minds, they got a lot to learn.
Well, there we go. I want to be a VFL commissioner. Now, whatever took it into your mind to write that song, Greg?
I don't know, actually. As a matter of fact, I was just listening to the old Billy Baxter tune, and thanks to Billy Baxter for that, and thanks to Paul Kelly too.
Okay, now, Simon, you've been up in the members there with Chris and Peter Endersby-Benithan, but you've been down in the bull ring. You've spotted a few highlights down there?
Oh, look, I've had a number of highlights today. I thought the big highlight of the Army Reserve Cup was the opportunity to see Dean Sharon, ex-St Kilda player, playing again. Very serviceable game he put in for Footscray 2. Pity they couldn't have done a bit better. And, of course, in the main game now, we've got another very serviceable performance by an ex-St Kilda player in Russell Green.
Yes, but he had to go to Hawthorn to be serviceable.
Oh, no, he was all right at St Kilda as well, but he's certainly done a little bit better. But, Greg, now, I've been listening to the call. You've all given Carlton away. Yep. They've had 9 scoring shots in that quarter. Not much luck. They've kicked 3 goals, 6. They're 21 points down, which I think is just about the position that Essendon were in 1984, and they went on to win by 30 points. I certainly haven't given the Blues away. You'll recall I tipped the Blues this morning. Not on this station. And I still think the Blues are going to get up and win. In fact, I felt all the way through that second quarter that the tide was turning.
We've given them away because we want to give them away, because we don't like Carlton and we want those Hawkers to win, so up yours, Carlton.
Okay, we'll cross to your other members' colleagues now, Simon. Chris, what's the scene up there during lunch?
Well, lunch is terrific up here, Jeff. The members are going berserk in the background. The share market's gone up. Moleskin trousers have just doubled in price in the last 20 minutes, and the boys chalking up the scores on the board in the long room are working overtime. Sydney Swans supporters want to buy dry-as-a-bone overcoats. Everybody's in for the elastic-sided RM Williams boots, and it's chaos up here. They're on a roll. They think Carlton's coming back, and they really think that John Howard is going to be the Prime Minister of Australia in 1988. It's a big show up here, a great day.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Well, we'll try and cross back down to Bay 13 now. Is the line clear? Okay. Are you coming through? What's the situation down there? Has the pies run out yet?
No, I've been munching on a 4 and 20. Are we sponsored by 4 and 20 today, Jeff, or not?
We're sponsored by Herbert Adams, Philip.
Oh, that's the one I had, a Herbert Adams. I'm not a very good reader, you see. I'm very proletarian crowd down here. Not much violence in the game, so can't really comment on that, but I did get a telegram before, and I've got to send a cheer out to a few people from school who are having a dirty bondage party out in Brunswick. There's Darryl and the crew, so I'd like to send a cheer, and I hope that they've got the whips and chains out, and there's a bit more violence there than over here in Bay 13.
Okay, well, there's no violence at all with where we're going to go now. From football, the brutal ballet, we're going to a more calm form of dancing. That's just the straight-out bluebirds. That looks like an amassed bluebirds now, but we're going to have a quick talk to the choreographer.
Jane, why did you become a Carlton Bluebird?
Because of the challenge. It was the first cheerleading squad in Australia. It was something different to do, and as I said, it was a challenge for all of us to do it, to present something new in a good way.
And when you actually heard about it, what did you actually think the Bluebirds would be doing? I mean, what was the type of image you had of them?
Oh, we were told what the image would be before we auditioned. That it was to be a dancing team, to represent Carlton, as entertainment prior to the game, to spur the crowd on, to spur the footballers on.
How would you spur the footballers on?
Well, in turn, we'd spur the crowd and then the crowd be motivated to spur the footballers on.
Some people can in fact argue that you're not on the ground long enough to spur the crowd on.
Well, we hope we are. We're sure we are.
There's also been some discussion about the difference between you and the Swanettes.
Yes.
How would you see that?
I agree. The Swanettes portray more a sexy image. We're trying to portray the girl next door that people can easily relate to, and a professional dancing team.
Is there a problem ever, do you feel? I mean, one of the things I think that's concerned the football public quite a bit at times is why, in fact, are these women on the ground. Do you find it a problem being in what's essentially a male preserve as a woman?
No.
And there has also been, talking about the costumes, I mean, there has been quite a bit of criticism about the costumes, but John Moss said to me just recently that they've changed.
We have new costumes which were made by the same people that made Torval and Dean's costumes in Australia. They are very classy. They're wearing tails with leotards and bowler hats and bow ties, and they're white boots.
So do you think there has been a change in the costumes?
The costumes become, when I did it, we only wore basic leotard and boots. It was very plain. I don't think the attention was drawn to us that much, you wouldn't have noticed us that much on the field. Now we've added a little bit of sparkle, but not too much. The costumes are very well made and fit the girls beautifully. They're not skimpy, they're just classy.
Where do the girls come from to get into it? Are they professional dancers before they come in?
Yes.
And how much?
We do have some new girls that haven't worked professionally, but they have all had years of dancing training. Most dancers start training when they're 5 and study various forms, basically starting with classical ballet, then progressing into jazz, modern and tapping. So they're trained all round.
Have you thought about using classical ballet out on the field before the games?
I don't know how that would go. I love classical ballet myself, that's my first love. I can't see the classical ballet in the tails with the boots and the bowler hats somehow.
And what about the earnings that the girls can make out of it? I mean, is it a lucrative career?
Yes, they do make a good wage.
For a full-time living, or is it something you'd have to add to?
No, not for full-time living, but enough to live on, yes.
And you said all the dance routines are basically your perceptions of what'll work rather than something
Well, John Moss, as I said, the promoter and the manager, we discuss what we think we would like the girls to do. We choose the music and then I choreograph the routine.
And how much training would you do each week before a game?
Well, at least one rehearsal before the game. During the week, that's a 3-hour rehearsal. Then on the day of the game, we get to the ground, warming up, going through the routine, and then the girls get dressed and go on the field. And for the grand final, we've spent 2 evenings this week. 1 hour, one of 4 hours and one of 3 hours.
What are some of the perils in terms of being a bluebird? For instance, it's being
the other team doesn't like you.
What do you mean the other team doesn't like you?
Well, I mean, for instance, when I did it, the grand final was Collingwood-Carlton. So, of course, Collingwood's going boo-boo-boo to the girls. Only because we're not with their team. That's about all. But most of the time you find they go, good on you girls, and that was great, and there's no real perils. Or, for instance, if we had to dance today out on the wet field, you have to be careful where you put your feet.
In fact, you had to do that once and somebody fell in the mud.
Yes. We're doing a line of kicks at the end of the routine, high kicks, about 16, and the girl beside me suddenly wasn't beside me. She was sitting on the floor in the mud.
Another problem I think that people might have with the growth of cheer squads here and groups like the Bluebirds and the Swanettes is that it seems that we're becoming very American.
Only American as in having cheerleaders, but the way our team is, it's nothing like any of the cheerleading squads in America. They're much bigger and much more razzmatazz than we have.
You don't think we'll get like that?
maybe in years to come, but I can't see within the next 1 or 2 years.
And what about in the next few years? Do you find, in fact, there's a trend with the other clubs? Are we going to get the Saintettes and the Tigerettes? And, is this on the line?
Hopefully, but they have to find sponsors. There's always the money is a problem. They have to find a sponsor to form the teams. I would like to see it because it puts more dancers, more acrobats, gymnasts in work.
The Carlton Bluebirds did have trouble at one stage, didn't they, finding sponsorship?
Yes.
What were the problems then?
They couldn't find anyone that would pay the money. Simple. That was the year after I did it. When I did it was when Dr. Jeffrey Edelstein was the sponsor. Then after that, they had problems finding a sponsor, but they did.
Why were there problems, do you think? But there just wasn't enough
I think
work
a lot of
around,
people aren't prepared to put money in because they don't think they'll get enough money back from what they're putting in.
So it's changed now, has it? You don't have any problems with
Well, now that we have John Moss promoting it and managing it, he's excellent. I mean, he works on it 24 hours a day, getting jobs for the girls, promoting the image in the right way, looking after the girls, he takes them to all the jobs, he brings them home. He really cares for their image. I mean, we get in the bus to go to the game and he gives us a Mars bar. He brings us food. A Mars a day, eh?
He's got a brother who's a dentist.
Pardon?
Got a brother who's a dentist.
No. Chocolate factory.
Is that the motivational food for the Bluebirds? And what about actually having some blue boys out there in the squad?
I would like to, yes. Just to add another dimension, more visual. They can do double work with the girls, some partner work, and maybe some acrobatics. It would give it another look, yes.
Do you think that's likely?
Maybe next year, yes.
And that was Jan Rogers, the choreographer of the Bluebirds. And here's a fellow who's been doing his bit for Hawthorn today.
Well, that just about wraps it up here from the Coodabeen champions. The last man in is Michael Tuck.
Do you still want Brian Taylor, Harry?
Who's the one who dives into the pack and sends us back into attack? It's Tucky. Oh, Tucky. Who's the one who took the free in the second semi in 1983? It was Tucky. Oh, Tucky. And who's the one who proudly wears the brown and gold but has to wear long sleeves because he feels the cold? It's Tucky. Oh, Tucky. And who's the one who never missed a training night but still put in a mile of copper pipe? It was Tucky. Tucky. Who's the one who won't believe it's over even though he's gone as Hawthorn's #1 Mark Rover? Who's the one who runs all day though the days are getting shorter? Tucky's still okay. Yes, it's Tucky. Oh, Tucky. Tucky. Oh, Tucky.
And Hawthorn back on the ground at the MCG, and you probably just saw some stats up on your screens if you're watching it on the telly, and Greg and I happened to run into David Parkin, and just out of interest, he's keeping a few stats on the game himself. Apparently at the moment the goal face percentage error figures are Hawthorn 42.2%, Carlton 86.7%. There's a 0.5% statistical discrepancy there, but it's not statistically significant, Greg.
Yes, and handballs under pressure to the opposition. Hawthorn 8, Carlton 6.
The corridor disposal utilisation figures are Hawthorn 71%, Carlton 63%.
Unassisted acts of violence, Hawthorn 6, Carlton 9. Concealed forearms to the head region, 7 apiece. The hard team things that nobody notices, Hawthorn 10, Carlton 2. Flick passes, 0 and 0. Marginally effective knock-ons by accident behind the play, Hawthorn 4, Carlton 8. Proportion of ball play in the corridor region, 73% Hawthorn, 58% Carlton. And right-wing bourgeois middle-class major scores, Hawthorn 0, Carlton 5.
These are the figures you really need to keep you right in the picture at a great grand final, Trevor.
And for those of you out there who have been tempted through the afternoon to actually turn up the sound on their telly and hear Landy and Richards, we have the Channel 7 stats. Apparently no quarter has been given or asked in the first half. They're not giving any latitude or beg pardons. And also the ladders well in front of the formers today. Very surprising statistic there. And 4 goals have been handy, 3 badly needed. Right? And interestingly enough, 8 sets of players with the same number on their Guernseys have contested the ball with their backs to the camera. A new record, I believe. A new record there. And if Peter Landy was goal umpiring from the commentary box, it would be Hawthorn 4-8 the Carlton 7 straight.
Thanks a lot, Trevor. Greig Norman, our stats team there. As the main comeback starts to organise themselves again, I'll just check out our commentators again. Back in position up in the members, Peter and Andy.
It's wonderful to be here.
Did you have a
today.
good lunch, Chris?
Yes, Jeff, I'm up here and look, the members are up in the rubber over that half. Came with the VFL neo-fascist swastika drawn by children in the middle of the field. They've gone berserk. The right's coming back with a rush in the third quarter. I'm missing them all.
The ball. Let's see who'll have the rush in the third quarter this time. Tony Leonard.
Umpire Russo starts the second half as a knock from Deer finds the running Rocket Hawthorn into the attack first time. Harms in the van, takes a good mark over Russell Green, half-back flank members side. 35 plays 56, Carlton 21 points in arrears. The Loaded Dog, Pub Brewery bringing you this call. Richard Loveridge on centre wing drives the Hawks back into attack. Brereton tries to take the mark, Dorotich knocks on effectively. Finds Bradley, well intercepted by Ute. Kicked off the ground well by Ute. There's no one home except Dunstall. If it'll bounce for him, it bounces for him, he kicks the goal! And that's the start that Hawthorn wanted. 9-8-62 to 4-11-35.
I think all of you...
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery.
Bring you the Coodabeen champions grand final. Loaded Dog. 24, Road, North Fitzroy.
And I think, Tony, a lot of viewers would have noticed in that passage of play that Peggy Ham has got a very nasty receding hairline there.
Yes, number 37 on leave from the grand parade at the show today. Tony.
Yeah, but he's more rooted now. Bruce Stillman also. Who's officiating for Friends at the moment. Peter Cameron could also do with a visit to Roland Blythe. 62 plays 35. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery in North Fitzroy, bringing you all the action and all the drinks that's making this commentary so fantastically successful and succinct. It's Madden and Deer about to do battle again. 1 minute into the third quarter. And I'll tell you something, Dominator, I'd keep that Trevor yours shut. He doesn't allow Peter Cameron to get on with the game. Ball goes out. Nice bounce up so as Greg Deer and Justin Madden do battle. Madden straight to Peter Russo. Russo and Dorothy. It's like two titans, but Buckenara! Buckenara, the danger man for Hawthorn now.
He could kick this, Trevor.
Yes, he certainly could. He prepares to sink the boot in. It's a long torpedo punch from the edge of the square. They set themselves. Dunstall went up, couldn't take the mark, and the ball forced over the line by Carlton. Here, 2 minutes into the second half. 56 VFL Grand Final.
Simon. And it just shows you how selfless the Hawthorn players are. Buckenara has chosen to play incognito and get his number rubbed out.
It stacks not on the mill. It stacks nowhere near on the mill. It's Peter Cameron directing traffic. A free to Dorotich in the back pocket for Hawthorn. He's going to come out the member side of the ground on that famous left foot of his. And it goes out towards the centre wing in the direction of Deer. Meldrum beats him to the ball. Ayres overruns it. Stack on the mill now with Loveridge there. And it looks like Steve Kernahan. And it's a half-forward flank. No, perhaps between the wing and half-forward member side flank with the Hawks into attack. Russo puts the ball down. Madden goes up. Contested, uncontested, if that's possible. Ayres kicks the ball back and over again.
Great diving.
And isn't it great for excitable commentators like us that God created a name like Buckenara?
Tony, can I just go down to Bay 13 now? Madden got the knock clearly. It went straight to Ayres.
The guy's nigh on spastic, and in the last 2 punches straight to the Hawthorn guys. I mean, there are people around me in blue jumpers going absolutely bananas about the situation.
And here's John Peck lining up now.
OK, Trevor, as Dermot takes this shot.
Yes, well, we're taking those expert comments from Bay 13. The short pass marked by Brereton, and Brereton will line up from about 40 metres out. He'll actually be about 45 metres out when he lets go, taking his time, pulls up the socks. Very important, Dermot, as Dermot strolls in, looking to kick his second goal. Lines up, boots straight through the middle. No doubt about that one. 2 goals to Hawthorn.
I think this could be a winning lead at this early stage in the third quarter. 10-8-68 Hawthorn. 33-point leaders over Carlton. 4-11-35.
You're listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on 3RRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
A shell shock Carlton. The trails by 33.2. Very quick majors to Carlton at the start of the third term. Madden.
Hawthorn, I think, got them, Tone.
Yes, they did, but...
Sensation here. Hawthorn got them.
Yeah, but I'm the one who's shell-shocked because I can't believe what I'm saying. As Buckenara has got the ball again. He's got the ball again. Well stopped by Tommy Alvin. Blatton tries to put his body in. Alvin puts his body in. It must be holding the man. It's going to be a bounce up, though. Bit stiff, Tommy Alvin. Between centre and half forward, right in the middle of the ground, the edge of the diamond. With Hawthorn going into attack, 33 points in front. The Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy bringing you all the action. Madden and Deer do battle. Well knocked on by Loveridge. Straight to English. The ball smothered. Dean tries to get the ball. Kicked on by Brereton. Alvin's the one in the van. Knocked on nicely then by Russo. Well tackled. Dipper on bad play. Dennis Arms intercepts. He'll set this up nicely for the running Evans, but Evans been very quiet. Deer's on his hammer. Well tackled, big boy. Well tackled. The ball goes out of bounds. 65 metres around. Half forward flank with Hawthorn in attack.
And we wait for the ball up. I think that could have broken the back of Carlton. Trevor Marmalade.
Yes, well, surprising Evans didn't have enough pace to get around Deer then, but nevertheless the ball was being thrown in on Hawthorn's half-forward flank. Desi English trying to get through. Carlton go forward through the agency of Tommy Alvin, who streams forward, kicks the ball towards half-forward for Carlton.
Good-looking bloke. I could fancy him, I reckon. Dipper with blood all over his face. I think it might be...
The warrior.
I think it's probably tomato sauce from 6 or 7 pies he tried to get down at half-time. Well knocked on by Abbott. Half-forward flank. Running into the pack then is Russell Green. Well got out by Peter Dean. Hawthorn find the way through there. Desi English, cool, calm and collected. One of Carlton's better players. It's Members' side right in the middle of the ground. 5 minutes in. Tuck at the bottom of the pack. Meldrum gets the ball out, throws it up. And the running Bradley. I think he should play off.
I think he did throw it up, Tony.
No. Oh.
Well called in the run there.
And I'll even make one other prediction that Peter Cameron will bounce it.
All right. The bounce comes from Cameron. He puts the ball into the turf. Deer in front, gets the tap down to the evergreen Michael Tuck. Ball out to Edu, gets a short kick in towards half forward. Curran comes out to meet it, overruns the ball. Dipper's there, the claret flowing from his pumpkin. But Alvin comes through with the left boot, sinks it out onto the Members' wing. Coming through is Abbott. He didn't have much of a clue there. Kernahan trying to get clue. The ball there. And a short kick from the Hawthorn player comes towards Platten. And out of bounds once again, Tony.
Right in the middle of the ground, right on the wing exactly, in front of the Members. Rowan Robertson looking to come on. Mackenzie hasn't been on the ground. Madden, who's been so dominant, knocking it to the Hawthorn little men all day and does it again. Gets it to Peter Schwab. Schwab will kick long in the direction of Brereton. Dorotich in front. Dipper gets the ball. Has one bounce to you. Oh! Straight in. Delivers the flying headbutt to the midriff. And he's going to get holding the man.
Now, Tony, if you don't take one of your heart tablets, you can't call the last quarter.
Well, how about we cross over to Bay 13?
Well, that was a Brownlow decision if ever I saw one. I've got to take comments from Bay 13 on that one.
Discussion, a perfect tackle, ducked the head, the ball and copped it. Sweden should have been penalised.
Okay, I'd like to go up to the Members now. Helen, you're not happy with the state of the Carlton players' clothes?
No, I'm not. I mean, the Carlton players, in fact, look wonderfully neat compared to these unruly Hawthorn people.
Do you think the Carlton players might have changed at half-time, or they just haven't been on the turf much?
I think they've been a bit concerned with the way they're looking, and they should just get into the game.
Okay, we'll cross back to the main combox now, Tony.
And Dipper looking like he's just come out of a 20-man battle royal at Madison Square Garden. But anyway, it's the running. Evans kicks the ball, centre wing, has a bit of luck and finds stopped there by Schwab. He'll handball now to Harms. Harms onto the running Glasgow. Bounce it, son. Bounce it, son. He dropped the ball. Well done, Peter Schwab. And here's Rick Loveridge going towards the Members where he belongs, because he's a public school boy and he's probably been there before. Gives it to Gary Ayres. Gary Ayres, half forward flank, looking for Brereton. Now, he wouldn't have been in the Members, a boy like that before. Probably 85 metres out around from the ground, about where Billy Barrett would have kicked the goal. What disgusting play, Brereton.
Hit the boundary line.
And I'll tell you something, that should have been in, because that's where Harms knocked the ball. And I know you Collingwood supporters have got a I got a long memory, and obviously memories of 1979 just keep coming flooding back. 10-8-68 Hawthorn, Carlton 4-11-35, about 10 minutes in, and the Loaded Dog bringing you all the action.
So far it's been all Hawthorn in the 1986 Grand Final. Carlton trying to claw their way back in. Madden in front, takes the ball out of the ruck, tackled by Deere. He's following up, he's over the ball, unloaded. Comes out, Rhys Jones can't take hold of it. Untidy passage of play, and the umpire will call for it once again, Simon.
Rhys Jones been very quiet today, Tony.
It was even quieter because he wasn't even in that passage of play then, Trevor. But he's probably been one of Carlton's better players. Craig Bradley in the hands of the trainers. Deere and Madden, the two Titans doing battle again. Knock to Glasgow. Glasgow to Rhys Jones. Play on or ball up. And he's gone for the latter. Ball up, decision.
Actually, he threw Rhys Jones to the ground there. I thought the umpire must have thought that was fair enough, even though Rhys Jones never had the ball.
And there's a very worried-looking Alan Jones, but if I was a policeman, I'd always be worried about a bullet coming through the window. It goes towards the wing, and Hawthorn looking pretty good. The ball goes out of bounds.
And while it's out of bounds, Tony, I'll just cross back over to the outer the com box. He's gone down to join the boys down there. What do you think of Rhys Jones' game so far, Greg?
We were just discussing Rhys Jones in here, and Rhys is a come of age as a football player. He's an adult. He's a human being, warm and considerate and caring.
OK, we cross back to the main com box now. Trevor.
All right, Meldrum scoots, picks up the ball, grabbed by Ayres, evades the tackle. He grabs hold of him, gets a short kick in with the left boot. But I think the whistle's gone on the play. Advantage all paid there. Leverage scoots
well,
round
the Carlton players stopped and the Hawthorn players kept
Dunstall
going.
Comes out from full forward and takes a mark not more than 35 yards out on a 60-degree angle. Will he kick this one, Tony?
I think Trevor, and it's a tragic last game for Brewster.
And McClure being hauled off the ground by Carlton coach Robbie Walls.
I wouldn't hit the panic button just yet, Robbie. Jason Dunstall lining up. It looks good. And I'll tell you something, that might be the one to seal the 1986 Grand Final.
OK, Tony, I'll just catch the atmosphere up in the members. Chris, how are things?
Sensation, Jeff. They've reverted to plan B. The stock market's collapsed. There's members of the Carlton coterie jumping off the MCG onto the top of their Mercedes, and they've put out a warning. There's a nuclear disaster in South Melbourne. Anybody wearing brown and gold has got to get out of the metropolitan area immediately.
Hey, Chris, I want to go back down to Bay 13 now. It seems that one umpire called a free kick and the other umpire blew play on. Bay 13 was on the opposite side of the ground, but could you see what went on there?
Of course I could see it. I was as close as you are, Jeffrey. I mean, who believes in umpires, really? What do you think of umpires?
Oh, they're very nice men. Back to the play now.
And I think they've done a terrific job today too.
And take it away, Trevor Marmalade.
Yes, special comments there from our violence expert, Phil Cleary, as Motley gets the kick across. Elvin coming through there. Pudipia Domenico gets hauled to the ground, picks the ball up again. Bit of a scuffle behind the play. Elvin gets the kick up to the wing, but standing in the way is Terry Wallace for Hawthorn. Set the drive tack, swings onto the right foot, gets looking for Brereton behind. He comes through, had the hands on it, couldn't pull it down. Doridich and Elvin see the ball over the boundary line for Carlton. It's on Hawthorn's half-forward flank.
OK, Trevor, I really think Hawthorn have gained a bit of supremacy here, Tony.
Yes, and it's supreme by 39 points. 4-11-35 Carlton, 11-8-70 the Mighty Hawks. They lead by 39 points as a free goes to Bernie Evans and the Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy, corner of Holden and Street and St George's Road, bringing you all the exciting action from the MCG as Blackwell far tackling. Justin Madden, just marks over Richard Loveridge. Well done, Justin. Goes on to the running Dominator. The Dominator looking for Molly Melbourne, looking for Kenny Hunter. Well punched out again by Hunter. Evans too slow. Suntucky trying to get the ball. Thrown out to Meldrum. Keep playing on. Don't look for the free. He doesn't. It's going to be Stacks on the mill. Well done, Peter Russo. Perhaps ball up will be called about 45 metres out with Carlton in attack.
And Tony, do you think John Russo showed some favouritism to his brother Peter there?
And I couldn't. Probably could have given him a free kick then because
chose not to. Chose negative favouritism.
I think fingers up the nostril does indicate a tackle above the shoulders.
Trevor.
All right. The ball bounced again as it's driven up once again by Hawthorn. Looking for Curran. Motley's behind. Could have been paid. No mark paid. Curran scoops the ball out, looking for no one in particular. Green's first on the scene. He gets a sloppy handball out, but it's Bradley who'll get a left foot kick in. Buckenara late on the scene as he heads up to the wing. McKenzie comes out, looking for his first touch. Can't get hold of it. Platten's there. Schwab gets the tap out to Eade. Couldn't get it clear. Johnson across to Mackenzie. Gets his first kick in the 86 grand final. Kernahan's there. Through comes Abbott on the left foot. Not a very good kick, but Russo should be first to the ball. Dippy Domenico's there too. He's got Evans on his hammer. Alvin coming through now. He's starting to come into the game now, Tommy Alvin. Gets a handball across to Blackwell. Gets a hurried kick in, but it'll bounce through for 1 point. Very close.
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery is supporters of the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast on 3RRR FM. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
Play for Hawthorn. It goes towards the members' side wing. Platten tries to jump his own man, but a great mark, Rhys Jones. 4-12-36, 11-8-74. Things looking pretty grim for the Blue Boys. Peter Schwab's got the ball. He knocks it in the direction of Loveridge, who was manhandled. Knocked over the line, and it's between, well, we'll say half-forward flank, members' side with Carlton in attack about 12 or 13 minutes in. Make that about 15-26 on the Loaded Dog electric timing scoreboard. Johnson can't get the ball out. Ayres falls over. Rhys Jones battling hard. Gets a hurried kick in, goes towards Glasgow. It's pressure all the way. Johnson can't get the ball. A punch then. They need a mark here. Is it the running Blackwell to do the trick? No, it's not. It's out of bounds. Right up against the point post. 4-12-36.
Okay, Tony, I'll check down to Bay 13 now. Julian.
I think Hawthorn can start twinning with Tokyo right now. Twin cities, Tokyo and Hawthorn.
Thanks, Jules. Back to the play now, Trevor.
All right, the ball comes to Eade. He gets the right foot, looking towards Dippy, Domenico and Alvin. They're having an absorbing contest on the wing. The ball, no one can get a decisive hand on the ball, and it's out of bounds once again.
And Tommy Alvin's appealing. He thinks he's playing cricket. That's not till next week, mate.
I think Tommy Alvin's appeal was justified there. Dippy definitely in his back.
Tony.
11-8-74, 4-12-36. Hawthorn by 38 points. 17 minutes in the Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy, bringing you all the action. Wayne Harms got the ball, well hassled then by Peter Russell's very good friend, Green Brother. And as Langford clears the ball to Hawthorn, nearly paid the mark to Dippy Platten right on his tail. And what can Glasgow do? Glasgow, the Thornbury High teacher, runs towards the boundary. The ball must be out of bounds, umpire. It is between centre and half forward, outer side with Carlton just in attack, 17 and a half minutes in. 6 goals, 2 down, and Trevor, things are looking pretty grim.
Okay, yes, before we go to Trevor there, Tony, I'll just cross up to the members and see what the situation's like.
It looks to me like the Carlton players, some few of them might have not made it to the Friday night Sacred Players meeting, and they're looking a little bit like the men that fell out of the satellite at the moment. They're absolutely not in it, but watch out for re-entry.
The men who fell to earth. Trevor.
All right, Buckenara gets the handball. Curran on to Ayres. Puts the right foot into it. Down towards the teeth of goal. Dunstall's there with he's swamped by Dorotich and Dull. Brereton takes the crumbs. He's unloaded though. That ball falls to Dunstall. He swings over the right foot and puts it through. Another wonder.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on 3RRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
And it's back to the main com box now with Tony Leonard. I think Carlton are gone.
It looks that way, Simon.
I really think Jason Dunstall ought to be given a good slap over the face. He's showing absolutely no respect for Bruce Doyle in his last game, a man many years his senior.
And the ball's bounced down now, Trevor.
All right, the umpire's about to slap the ball into the turf again as Hawthorn well in front here in the third quarter, the championship quarter in the VFL Grand Final. The ball in no man's land. Schwab gets there first, but Harms comes through, kicks with the right boot, looking for Hunter, but I tell you what, Kenny Hunter, he could have been reported for time wasting for running out on the ground today. The ball, in the meantime, out of bounds on the full from that kick by Harms. It's untidy play by Hawthorn. Hunter gets the handball across, looking for Mackenzie. He can't bend down. Gets the ball back to Blackwell. He shoots in towards the goal, but it's only up behind a Carlton. They need goals.
Okay, we'll cross down to Bay 13 and see what the atmosphere there is. Have they given up on Carlton all around you?
I've had enough, Jeff. This bloke with the Hawthorn jumper, he's put it over me once too often. I've turned around and biffed him, and he's lying in a pool of blood.
Oh, have a look over your shoulder. Is that the police coming down behind you?
Julian, quick in front of me, quick.
Okay, back to the play now, Tony.
He knocks the ball on. It's 12-8-80. Molly Meldrum's got the ball. Go back and kick quickly, son. 43 points in arrears, Carlton. He's probably 45 metres out, more or less directly in front. And, you haven't seen now. He's had about 5 kicks for the day. I think he'll probably dog this one though. 13.37. He goes long, he goes strong. It's there. Full points to the Blues.
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, brewers of fine ales and stouts, bring you the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast. The Loaded Dog, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy.
Back at the main combox now, Simon.
Yes, and if there's one Carlton player who's not to blame for what's happened today, it's Molly Meldrum, Trevor.
Yes, and actually our mail from Bay 13 is that Phil Cleary's hitting people in the crowd, hoping he'll be sent on, Tony.
I don't think we better cross down.
Ball goes up again. Justin Madden knocks the ball to Harms. Is this the last whiff of chance for Carlton? However, the ball goes out the running. Glascott now set it up carefully, son. He looks towards the running Blackwell. Blackwell can't try and get the mark. He's hotly pressed by Wallace. Blackwell running the ball around, looking for Alvin. Harms cops one over the old... three Ks in. And Blackwell just ran straight at Tuck then. Curran, I mean. And I'll tell you something, that's why I don't like Wayne Blackwell. He can just pop up at the most unexpected places, in the most unexpected places. Curran on half-back flank on the outer side of the ground.
OK, Tony, we'll go down to Bay 13 and check on that one. I mean, Wayne Harms should have gone on the Grand Parade instead of the Grand Final today, I think.
There was nothing in that, Jeff. If Wayne Harms had had a full head of hair, it might have hurt.
OK, back to the main combox now, Trevor.
All right, the throw-in on centre, close enough to centre wing. Madden's in front. Deere gets the tap out from behind. Green kicks the ball in towards the centre, and a strong mark by Ayres in front of Rhys Jones. And Rhys Jones grabbing hold of the ankle there, making sure he doesn't play on. Ayres goes back for his kick. He's about to send Hawthorn deep into attack with a big torpedo. He's kicked at a country mile, looking for Dunstall. Doull had hold of one hand. Bit of a skirmish in the centre with Mew and Hunter there. Russo in the meantime. Russo picks up the ball on half forward with the left foot. Curran's got the set from behind. Couldn't take the mark. English gets a quick kick out of the pack, dribbling towards the back pocket there. Alvin overruns it. Dippy Domenico first in line for the ball. Alvin on his hammer, but he losing. Fires out the handball to Platten, who with the torpedo punt in towards goal. Dunstall wrestling with Doull once again. No free kick paid. Curran's there. Dean's also in there. The ball comes to ground. Meldrum tackled by Dunstall, but Doull gets a kick. Over to you, Tony.
I'll really show excitement now as Gary Ayres goes long towards the goal. It could be good. It's just about there. It is there. Full points to Hawthorn. Don't look like a stunned mullet. You
come on, put the fingers up.
13.886 leads 5.13.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on 3RR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
OK, we'll just cross up to the members now to get a feel for the atmosphere.
Well, the word has gone out up in the members, Jeff. They've offered Phil Cleary 3 Western District properties and $4 million worth of shares in Allied Breweries if he'll cross the Carlton and come out in the ground and start biffing people.
And Chris, how about Peter Endersby Benithan? Has he caught the plane back to Adelaide?
No, he has. They don't fly back to Adelaide, these upper-class people, Jeff. They just wait here and somebody comes over and they get transmogrified underground to Adelaide. OK, it's back to the main combox now with Trevor.
All right, umpire Cameron coming in to separate Alvin and Dippy Domenico. Bit of a skirmish developing in the centre of the ground, but the ball will be bounced here in the third quarter. 13-8 to 5-13. Hawthorn well in front. 23 minutes and 16 seconds into the third quarter as the ball comes out to Abbott. Gets a hurry kick towards centre half forward. Brereton was there. Buckenara in the van. Comes through a left foot kick by Carlton towards the half forward flank. Leading in the race for the ball is Schwab. He can't handle the ball and over the boundary line once again.
And Trevor, what a great game Gary Ayres has played today. He's definitely getting my vote for the best game by an ordinary player.
Well, I don't know so much about that, Simon, but I do know one thing, and that is the Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy's bringing you all the action as Blatten kicks the ball off the ground. Members side wing, right in the middle of the ground. Out of bounds it goes. Smack bang in the middle. About to start time on in the fabulous Premiership third stanza. 13-8-86 leads 5-13-43. The Hawks have doubled Carlton's score. And can they get back in there? It looks like Des English kicks it straight to his opposition in Gary Ayres. Ayres looking in the direction of Dipper Domenico. Dortich runs through, throws the ball away. Tommy Alvin, look out, son. Dipper's on the trail. Buckenara, it's out of bounds. Between half forward and forward pocket, 50 metres out, members side, Hawthorn in attack.
Like a hot potato there, Trevor.
Yes, the Dominator looking in trouble and Birdie also limping. And Incidentally, Tony, Hawthorn have won 7 out of their last 8 games against Carlton. As Loveridge picks up the ball on the left foot, looking forward, Dunstall, he's got the front position, punched away by the evergreen door. Comes to Russell on the left foot, and he's and it's all over bar the shouting.
And it's another goal to Hawthorn there. It's time to cross around the grounds. Greig Champion's managed to worm his way into the members with Chris and Peter. You there, Greg?
Well, I can't talk at the moment. A mouthful of party. I'm paid $12 for this party on the black market.
Oh, dear. You'll get chucked out of the members. We'll cross down to Bay 13. Are you still there? Have the police come? Are you there,
Yeah,
Phil?
we're still here. You should see the bloke behind me. I tell you what, he's got about a dozen stitches in the foot. I made a mess of him, but did you see Wayne Johnson go off? He was pinned on the knee.
I think it's time for the Glasgow Kisses over here.
Okay, well, it's back to the main com box. I think it's all over bar the shouting, and there'll be plenty of that. Tony Leonard.
And I'm the one who's going to be delivering the shouting for the next quarter or so.
The only place where there's going to be action in this grand final in the last quarter is going to be right here in this studio.
So don't change that dial. It's 3RRR. It's the simulcast. It is the Loaded Dog as it's 25-38-39 as umpire Russo slams the ball right into where Dennis Lilly probably delivered a killer blow to one of the little Pakistani batsmen. Terry Wallace in the back. Black will play on for call.
They're on the trampoline, Tony.
They're on that natural bluegrass. Blackwell twisting, turning, pursued by Russell Morris. Can't get it. The direction of Kernahan. Well done, Abbott. Beautiful bunch there as the Hawks go into attack. Well done, Peter Dean. Get it going, Sonia. 49 points down. 14-8 to 5-13. Goes in the direction of Kernahan. First grab. No, it's not. Justin Madden. And with lightning handball. Puts it to Kenny Hunter. Bad kick, Kenny Hunter. And out of bounds it goes with John Kennedy on for the first time. Very interesting that Hawthorn have put both their interchange players in Morris and Kennedy on as we're about to go well into time on 30. Looking beautiful there. I bet that claret tastes like champagne, and that's what'll be guzzling down his throat in about 35 minutes time, and so will mine as Kenny Hunter knocks the ball out. Abbott chasing the ball. They're going to run this ball out of defence, the Hawks. He tries to stop it, Kernahan. Reece Jones over the top. Kennedy running through. The ball comes out to Langford, drops the ball. McKenzie trying to get through. Glasgow a hurried shot, but the Hawks shutting it down again. A bit high, I'd say. Bounce it up, umpire.
And as they take the ball up, we'll just take comments from Chris up in the members again. Are you there, Chris?
Yeah, Jeff, the Sydney Swans supporters have gone bananas. They were listening to Bob Davis's account of how the final systems last night, and they're just waiting for the Sydney Swans to run out in the grand final starting at about 4:30.
Thanks a lot, Chris. As the ball's back in play, Trevor.
First snap for goal by Bernie Evans, and it's a goal. 3RRR.
Pub Brewery, supporters of the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast on 3RRR FM. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
And we're back here in the main com box now. Carlton have kicked what could be called a consolation goal, but let's not forget it's only the third quarter, Tony, and as you're very fond of saying, this game is not over.
It is certainly not over yet. 27.5 minutes in. Peter, rough nut, Cameron with the ball, slaps it into the middle. The two Titans, Madden gets the ball down to Harms. They need to slap one on right now, but Hawthorn trying to shut it down. Russo, who's played a mighty game today, in the direction. Buckenara, not quite. Dunstall tries to knock the ball through. Buckenara again. Knocks it to Platten. Platten over the shoulder. He'll find Bratton. Not quite. He'll find Bratton now. And Dermot Bratton. Knew he'd find him. 15-8, 98 Hawthorn. 6-13, 49, and it's on the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery scoreboard.
Throw, definitely a throw then by Buckenara. Should have been penalised, Trevor.
Okay, we'll go down to Bay 13 now. How's the crowd taking Dermot Bratton's performance?
Well, they're very excited down here about him. Dermot the Hood, they're saying. Greig Champion told us so, and they're very happy about that goal.
How did he ever get this?
He threw the ball to himself. Should have been a free kick.
Okay, we come back to the main com box now. Trevor.
All right, magnificent goal by Burton. Persistence paying off. The bounce of the ball in the centre. Greg Deere playing on confidence alone now. Takes the ball out of the rut. Kicks towards half forward for Hawthorn. But Glasgott's in the way. And he'll boot Carlton into the attack. And Kenny Hunter starting to come into the game a bit more in this third quarter as well he might. As he drives the ball towards Madden. He's in front but can't hold it. McKenzie, he's grabbed. He's too slow. Abbott gets out to Langford. Langford boots forward for Hawthorn on the centre wing. It's Brereton taking the handball into no one in particular. It's Dean in front of Curran. He's got the ball grabbed by Curran. The ball comes out to Kennedy. This could be his first possession for the game. Handballs it over to Brereton. Who'll look for a player downfield. Is Buckenara. No, Loveridge got a hand on it first, but English is there backing up for Carlton. He gets the handball back to Motley. He's been quiet in the last quarter or so. He kicks the ball up to half back for Carlton. Abbott's there. Gets the kick in for Hawthorn. Looking for Brewer, and he can't take the mark. And in the van, who's there?
Take over, Trevor. It's Russell Green going towards goal. Will this seal it? No, it won't. 15-9-99, 6-13-49, almost the end of the third quarter, and all this sensationally exciting action being brought to you by...
Well, I want to go around the commentators now. Is anyone prepared to give Carlton any chance at all? Simon?
Oh, you can never rule out Carlton. I'm still tipping him.
Tony?
Not. Harry the blind miner could see that this is all over this one as the ball goes out of bounds.
Trevor?
In front of the members.
Yes, another boundary throw in to take place, or no, the umpire's plucked out a free kick. Well, Meldrum thought he had it.
Three-quarter time.
The siren's gone for three-quarter time, and at this stage, it's time to recall another great Carlton disaster, which was inflicted on them by Neil Barm, and we're crossing over to Adelaide now, where Julian Ross is talking live to the great man, number 21 himself.
Yes, it's Julian Ross here, Neil, from the Coodabeen Champions, the football program on 3RRR in Melbourne.
G'day, mate.
How are you?
Oh, terrific.
Terrific. I hope we didn't get you out of bed.
No, I was just getting up, mate, no problem.
You've got the fluffy moccasins on and the terry toweling jacket?
Oh, I've got the silk smoker's jacket on, Julie.
I see, so they must pay you pretty well at Norwood.
No, not all that well.
Well, you've heard of the Coodabeen Champions in Adelaide, haven't you?
Well, Robert McGee's told me all about them, but I don't get the show here, no.
You don't get the show, but you receive Inside Football, and no doubt you read our column first.
Yeah, sure do.
Well, can we go back into your history a little bit? I know it's a very colourful history.
A long time ago, too.
You were recruited from Subiaco.
Yes, well, my father was transferred to Melbourne in his work, so that's the reason we went. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So what year did you come to Melbourne?
1969.
69, and how old were you?
16, just going 17.
And how come you went to Richmond?
Oh, I can't remember now. A lot of reasons. Mostly because I think Alan Schwab was pretty diligent at his job, I reckon. But they see it a good club, and fortunately it's probably the best decision I ever made, fortunately. But it was difficult at the time to know what to do.
And the social life was pretty good, wasn't it?
Oh, I was too young in those days, Julie, to know what that was all about.
Oh, but if you were 16, you would have had to grow into a man pretty quickly.
In a big hurry, yeah.
The London Tavern, a well-known watering hole for Richmond player?
Oh, yes, it was. Old Sammy Sturgis was a terrific man, and I think he helped us a lot in those days.
So it's a story about you trying to hide yourself now when Graham Richmond was down the road at the clubs on Friday night. What was the true story there?
I think it was a Wednesday night rather than Friday night. And for some reason they reckoned that some of the boys were stopping at Sammy's pub on the way home all the time. I don't know where they got that story from, but there's one occasion that we did. Unfortunately, we were caught doing it. But in retrospect, it was probably the worst thing I ever did was catch us there, because some of the blokes got a bit crook on it, and maybe it hurt the spirit a bit. But that was in the old days when footy was a bit more fun, I think.
Yeah. Now, you seem to be early in your career, Neil. You're a good-natured sort of fella. You were pictured visiting sick kiddies in hospital and all that sort of thing. Do you remember those photographs in the Sun?
Yeah, I do. That was a long time ago. I've done a lot of things since then, but I think everybody tries to do that. I think the famous league football a bit gets to you a bit. I think a lot of kids take a lot of interest in footy, and if you can help them when they're crook, I think most people still try and do that now.
Okay, so you were a good-natured kid floating around in the forward pocket, bagging 3 or 4 a week. And Neil, in the space of a couple of years, you became the most fearsome ruckman in the league. How did this transition in personality take place?
I think I'm still pretty good-natured.
Well, I wouldn't ask Jeff Southey that.
Oh, well, that's just one of those things in footy, I guess, that just happened.
It was a job that you had to do, or did you just see an opportunity there?
I always said that I can't recall really the lead-up or the build-up to the whole thing at all. I think it was just something that happened. There was certainly no, I wasn't told to do it, or there was no predetermined plan.
Yes.
I think things that happen in grand finals sometimes.
Well, on the footy replay a couple of weeks ago, there was some footage of you, and there was one incident where there was a run-out duel between you and a South Melbourne defender, and all of a sudden the South Melbourne defender fell on his face motionless, and you ran into an open goal. Do you remember that incident?
No, I don't.
I suppose you did send a wreath to that South defender's funeral.
I can't really recall that incident, no.
The grand finals, did they bring out the best in you, Neil?
Well, you always hope they do, and I think most players, if they really thought about it, that's when they'd want to play their best. I had some reasonable games in grand finals, but I don't think people remember grand finals better than others because they've got 6 months to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think every player really wants to play his best in finals. That's what the whole thing's all about.
Well, did you have to work yourself up, or did the coach set up for you?
Well, I don't think anybody really has to work themselves up in finals. I think during the season it's sometimes a little bit harder for players. It is a damn long season. The finals time, I think most blokes spend time getting themselves down rather than getting themselves up because it really is a magnificent time for footy.
Yes, well, speaking of coaching, you've made an excellent fist of bringing Norwood up the ladder in South Australia. What do you think are the attributes necessary to make a good coach?
Well, I don't have time to say all that. I think mostly, I've always believed that the most important part of coaching is that you really have to try and be yourself as much as you can, otherwise the players eventually see through you. I think too many people try and model themselves.
Well, Neil, Julian, we'll have to leave it there. The game's about to start. The ball's being bounced down at Tony.
And up they go for the final corner as Terry Wallace kicks the ball out in towards the Hawthorn attacking zone. Carlin got to take with Dorotich with a whacking over the ear. And I'll tell you something, a big stiff umpire. And the free kick to John Kennedy. And won't the Kennedy family be happy tonight? It's 50 points the difference. And the final championship last stanza of the 1986 Grand Final brought to you by the Loaded Dog in North Victoria.
And it's still anybody's game, Tony.
It is still anybody's game. Carlton coming home to the scoring end, but it's at the moment it's up in the Hawthorn scoring zone between half forward and forward pocket outer side.
And it's going to be a hot time on the Old Town tonight, you can be sure of that. As Madden gets the tap out, but it's Buckenara trying to get through. Can't do so. Comes through to Rhys Jones. He's looked for the handball. Finds Alvin coming into the game now. He streams towards the wing position and drives Carlton into attack. Hunter's there, but Wallace a strong mark in defence. Looking forward and finds on the wing position Deere. He plays on straight away. He slips over at the psychological moment, but gets the handball to Ayres, who forces the ball out of bounds.
It's on the outer wing with Hawthorn not really in attack, but they're 50 points in front. Ayres, Dipper and Greeny, they're thinking to themselves, boy, are we going to have a good time in the Old Town tonight. Here we go. Madden knocks the ball down. Rhys Jones trying to do his best, gets the ball through. Good mark to McKenzie. Play on, calls Cameron. Kicks the ball long towards the direction of Bart McClure. Langford, who's played a great game, goes for the boundary. He does. Half forward, flank forward pocket, about 35 yards around from the Carlton goal. Outer side, a minute and a half in with Carlton, down by about 50 points. And the simulcast being brought to you by the Loaded Dog.
Right, the boundary throw in again. It's Kernahan getting the tap. Hunter comes with the ball. Kicks in towards goal. It's bouncing. Will the Hawthorn player get to it? Russo swoops on the ball. He comes to lend assistance. 1 bounce. 2 bounce as he comes. Charges out of the Hawthorn back line. The left foot pass. Looking for the player on the wing, Russell Green, who takes the mark for Hawthorn. He's looking for the 15 metres. The umpire will pay it, but no, he gets the handball moving straight away to Michael Tuck. He pulls up short. Handball over the top to Abbott. He goes in towards centre half forward for Hawthorn. Platten's behind there, but too tall. At the back is Justin Madden.
Justin Madden about to send Carlton into attack. Hands off to Motley. No ground whatsoever there, and it's out on the full. And I'll tell you something, if Hawthorn can kick this, you can almost say that they might be home, but gee whiz, Carlton have been a great side. What about their great grand final wins? The Buckenara's got the ball right on the boundary line, 60 metres out, outer side of the ground, and he's going to go towards goal. Is he going to go short? Go long, Bucky. He does. Goes in towards the Dunstall-Dool direction. Britton at the back, knocked through by Bruce Dool. Bruce, it's the other way home, old son. Carlton 6, 13, 49. Hawthorn 15, 10, 100, trailing by 51 points. 2.5 minutes into the last stanza of the 86 final, brought to you by the Loaded Dog.
All right, the old-timer Brucey Dool kicks out, looking towards the Justin Madden direction. The ball hits the turf. Green charges through, but Reece Jones comes through with the ball. He has to get rid of it as Platten comes on the scene. Madden with the left foot in towards the centre. Hunter's out there. Can't pick up the ball. Mew eventually gets the kick in towards halfback. Who's 38 for Carlton?
It's Rowan Robertson. Handing off to Harms. Harms goes back towards Peter Dean. Goes out towards Alvin. Alvin members side. Got to go on, son. Take risk. He does over the top, looking towards Glasgow. Glasgow back to the running. Alvin got to hurry his kick into no one in particular. It looks like going out of bounds. McClure's had a dog of a day. So's Kernahan. Over the ball. Is he going to knock it out? I think we'll say ball up.
Oh, not much of an attempt.
He didn't look too keen at all, did he? I think we'll get Bay 13's views on that.
Yes, I think he fell over at the psychological moment. And I've been chatting up this beautiful Hawthorn supporter behind me, and I was just about to grab her, and I fell over at the psychological moment too.
Oh, and we just had another psychological moment too, Tony.
Yes, meanwhile the kick from Blackwell has gone out of bounds on the full, and the resultant free kick will go to Hawthorn captain Michael Tuck.
And it's just as well too, Trevor, because I've had Tony on the electrocardiograph. He is not fit to continue the call if the scores get closer than 30 points.
Well, don't kick a goal, Carlton, because I've had 6 heart attacks and I've enjoyed every one today. Reece Jones goes high, but Mew at the back of the pack showing better judgment. It's the member side half-back flank as Mew kicks the ball towards the centre, looking for Platten, can't find him. Poor kick. Alvin gets onto the blue AstroTurf, and it's not as bad good as the green AstroTurf. Looks towards Hunter, made no ground whatsoever. Get up, Kenny. Got to get those old hamstrings working. He won't give him any ground whatsoever. He's in the middle of the ground. He's got to go long. He's looking in the McClure direction. McClure can't get there, and once again Chris Mew, the Rock of Gibraltar. And that was Michael Tuck handling it like one of the muscles on the Rock of Gibraltar. He didn't handle it too well. Out of bounds, members side, perhaps Carlton just in attack. 100 plays 49, 5 minutes in. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery bringing you the 3RRR simulcast of the 86 grand final.
This the Carlton forward line seems very congested. It's the tap out from Madden. Goes to Motley. He kicks Carlton forward towards the 50-metre line. McClure can't take a trick. Langford punches the ball away from him. Glasgow unloaded by Langford, who follows through. Meldrum gets the tap out. McClure's there too slow. He's with Eade. No one can get the ball. In comes Kennedy to dive on top of it. Kick off the ground by a Hawthorn player there. Wallace is in the van. Gets the handball. Back to Langford. Langford will go short into the centre of the ground, and it's a mark to Russell Green.
He's confounded the critics, Trevor, by coming and playing a slashing game, Russell Green. He's gone to John Kennedy, and I think this will almost seal it. Oh, stand up, son. We want to get to the pub quickly. That's the low 100 playing 49, and basically nothing's happened in this last quarter. But don't worry, I'll make it exciting. Even when he's walking back, what's going through his mind? Can I win the game, even though we're 51 points in front? The weight of Atlas is on my shoulder. Come on, Kanga, I'm saying to myself. I go back, I'm 45 metres out. I go long, I go strong, I go straight. It's a goal to Carl. No, it's not.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on CRRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St. George's Road, North Fitzroy.
And we're back in the main com box now. Trevor Marmalade.
Well, after one of the most exciting behinds I've ever witnessed, the ball is on the Carlton half-forward line, the Hawthorn half-forward line, as Mew picks up and drives in towards the teeth of goal. Dorotich sets himself. English is there backing up. He'll swing onto the left foot, brings the short pass out to Rowan Robinson. He'll go for a bit of a dash. Yes, he's leaving Gary Ayres behind. 1 bounce, 2 bounce around the outer wing. Swings there, short kick, but it's to no one in particular. Michael Tuck comes out, scrambles the handball out to Russo, who'll drive Hawthorn into attack once again. Platten's in front. English spoils. Platten follows up though. He's a little terrier. He burrows in. Oh, holding the man, umpire. What does the umpire say? Yes, he's paid the free kick to Platten.
Bay 13, would you have paid that one?
Disgusting free kick, and I can tell you what,
Stuck
Jeff,
right
he
in.
has got the biggest nose I've ever seen, that bloke, Platten.
You noticed it in amongst all his hair. Back in the main com box now, it's Tony Leonard.
I suggest you look in the mirror, Phil. Looks in the direction of Curran. Motley spoils. They overrun the ball. Can Dunstall pick it up? He can't. The ball will go out of bounds. Forward pocket. about 10 yards around, and Brereton obviously looking for a fight. Really would like. Why don't you punch that old man, you wimp, Brereton? It's 5 yards around from the Hawthorn goal. 8:14:15 into the last quarter. 101 plays 49. It's all over. Barber shouting and the police coming on as Kennedy has a shot over the shoulder. It doesn't even get close, but I just thought I'd liven it up. In fact, it goes out of bounds on the other side of the ground, about 15 metres around.
Okay, I'd like to cross down to outside the ground now. Greig Champion's been kicked out of the members for talking with his mouth full, and he's got his little card table set up there, and he's trying to sell his Dippy Domenico tapes. How are you going, Greg?
Yes, I'm shifting quite a few units down here, and all the Carlton supporters, they're streaming out of the ground in great numbers, and they're...
Of course, none of them want to buy it.
And they're picking up Dippy tapes. I'm going well.
Okay, it's back in the main com box now, Trevor.
Oh, the bounce that takes place 15 yards out from the Hawthorn goal. No room for faint hearts out there on the ground today as Madden takes the ball out of the ruck. Can't break through. The ball comes out to Dean. Alvin gets a short kick in, but bursting through the back is Loveridge. But back there is the old-timer, Brucey Dool. Hang up the boots, Bruce. It's all over, buddy. As Dean comes out of the back pocket, handball across to Rhys Jones. What can Rhys Jones do? Always going half-pace, but drives Hawthorn. Carlton up to the centre wing and a good mark to Robertson. Strong mark there. What can Carlton do? You've got to go long, son. None of this short business. You've got to go the shortest way home. Blackwell looking for Hunter. He's in the van and he'll take the mark, even though Morris was late on the scene.
He must have opened the doors at the back of the van to get away with that one. Tony.
Hunter trying to play on and trying to lift this lethargic Carlton side. Looks for Bernie Evans. Can't do it. Chris Mew as solid as ever. Ball goes out of bounds. About 10 yards around. Come on, Bernie, don't look cross, just try and kick those goals.
Carlton really looking for every free kick. It's always a bad sign, Tony.
Of course it is when it's 15-11, 101 Hawthorn, 6-13, 49 Carlton. 52 points in front. The Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy bringing you all the action from the grand final. Oh, come on, umpire. Blackwell was just not in possession.
I think we'll check that one down at base 13. Would you have paid that?
Is there any reason why I hate umpires, Jeffrey? Did everyone say that was a disgusting, panicking decision?
Okay, and it's the winner of the Grand Parade. Piggy Harms has got the ball. Back to you, Tony.
Harms looking in the direction and found him of Warren McKenzie.
He looks a bit like John Elliott, doesn't he, Warren McKenzie?
No, his snout's not big enough. But Peter Dean's obviously telling him the game's not over till the final siren goes, and let's face it, that's probably correct.
I don't think McKenzie will be getting a seat on the board after this match either, Tony.
He goes about 40 metres out directly in front. Full points to the Blues, and they're not out of it. They are screaming home.
A badly needed goal.
Okay, let's see what effect that last goal's had on the members. Chris, are you still there?
Yeah, no effect, Jeff. There's chaos up here. We've had 3 members strangle themselves on their hand-tied bow ties. We've had 7 public schoolboys out in the car park running around trying to jump in front of a speeding Mercedes. And the Sydney Swans fans love this. They see it as all part of the pre-match entertainment, and they're getting revved up for when the Swans appear in the real grand final at 4:30.
Okay, who else is there in the members? Is Helen still there, or is she out with the Bluebirds?
No, I'm here, Jeff, if you can hear me. We're still practicing the Bluebirds. We're still planning to get down there on that ground, and it's going to be a big finish.
Just goes to show, Jeff, you can't even buy success from Adelaide.
Okay, as we go back to the main com box now, Tony.
And what a poignant comment from someone from that state. Peter Motley gets the ball through, kicks it towards Gary Ayres, which is pretty silly because they're on opposing sides. Unfortunately, he kicks towards Peter Dean. Bruce Steele, come on Bruce, he knocked the ball out to Dean. He does so. Dunstall does well then. Well battled Jason Dunstall. Peter Curran goes towards goal. Don't tell me he could kick it. He hasn't. And John Dortich goes towards Des English. Boys, it might look good on the stat sheet, but the shortest way home, straight up the middle. Kicks it towards Kennedy, and the ball's gone out of bounds. What did I say, Trevor?
You said a whole heap there, Tony. I won't repeat it because it's a boundary throw-in on the Hawthorn half-forward line. Hawthorn with the game seemingly wrapped up. Can Carlton come back? Not a bloody hope on earth. But we'll make it exciting anyway, listeners, as Rhys Jones picks up, and a nice little whack behind the ear from Green there. Good play by Green. As the free kick being paid downfield, I feel, by umpire Cameron.
Yeah, come on, Trevor.
He's bringing it back, I think, Trevor.
Bring it back, controversial.
Oh, we'll check that one in bay 13, I think. Would they have been down the ground or just ignored?
No, ignore it. There was nothing in it, Jeff.
Play on was the call?
No, down the ground, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're with the umpires this time. Okay, it's back to the main com box now, Trevor.
But Kernahan in front takes a strong mark.
Oh, he's
About
playing.
time he did something. There he is, driving Carlton up towards centre forward. McClure can't get off the ground. The ball tapped out by Loveridge. There's Morris fumbling the ball, but he'll break away from defence anyway and send Hawthorn into attack once again. The ball eludes Green and Alvin. Running for it is Robertson. Brereton's there. Robertson feeds out the handball to Doherty, who swings onto the left boot, and it's a short pass that finds Reece Jones on the half-back flank. Reece Jones wastes no time. Gets Carlton moving, looking for Justin Madden. Deers behind, he spoils. Here comes Bradley. He's been quiet. What can he do? Nothing. Eade now gets the ball, and he'll be paid. No. The free kick against Eade there. The umpire said he's
shepherding the ball, I think, Trevor.
The free kick
And
there.
what a top job Rodney Eade's done for football today.
Tony Leonard as Molly Meldrum runs downfield.
I'll make this exciting, Trevor. Just have a listen. The ball on the ground. Deer tries to kick the ball around. Glasgow trying to lift the side. He dodges one. Has a shot over the shoulder in the McClure-Kernahan direction. Abbott can't get the ball. McClure's on the ball now. Breaks one tackle. Goes towards goal. It's going to be out of bounds. No, it's not. Blackwell picks the ball up. In his back, Terry Wallace. Must be a free.
No, cannot be a free kick. Holding the ball against Blackwell, and the free kick will go to Hawthorn's Terry Wallace.
Oh, Blackwell's going mad, and I think we'll cross down to Bay 13 for that one.
Yeah, I saw it, Jeff. He grabbed that Hawthorn player by the genitals for
Rubbish
sure.
decision, rubbish decision.
Oh, dear me. And it's back
Would
to the
not
game.
know, umpire.
Tony Leonard.
As the members start to get a little bit vociferous, as Rowan Robertson, half forward flank in front of the members, dodges him beautifully, but son, the goals aren't that way. Now, that would have been a beautiful goal if it had been the Nat West sign that was on the boundary line, but unfortunately it's no good. It's 13 minutes into the last quarter. The game more or less wrapped up, but at least all the action on Triple R's being brought to you by the Loaded Dog. 7-13, 55 to 15-11, 101.
All right, as the ball taken by Justin Madden, he has the mark there. Gets the handball working to Bradley, who gets his kick in towards centre forward. Hunter's there, but he's swamped by the Hawthorn defence. Flatten comes through. Handball over the top to Ayres. He goes for a bounce, but even though he couldn't handle it, he still gets it. Larish. 3 bounces. The handball working again onto Green. He'll line up the goal as he drives in the goal, but only 1 point to Hawthorn. He hangs his head in shame,
one
but
point
it's all over, Green.
It's spoiled everything. I'm going to cross back up to the members now. Are you there, Chris?
It's chaos up here, Jeff. There's a bloke running around here thumping members, and he looks a dead set ringer for Phil Cleary. I think the out has invaded the grandstand.
Let's see if he's over there. Is Phil Cleary
I'm
still...
not used to this behaviour in Adelaide. Get out, young man. Get out of the stand, young man.
I think it's getting pretty ugly back up here, Tony.
Gary Ayres has been signed by Circus Oz, Tony.
After that last performance, as Justin Madden, cool, calm and collected as always, gives the ball to Peter Motley, and Motley kicks the ball, and oh, what a timely mark by Curran. And I just thought
Russell Morris.
Russell. Okay, can I finish, please? Curran's very good friend, Russell Morris, as Russell Morris goes towards Justin Madden. Oh, Buckanara gets a whack on there. Get up, son. The game's not over. It's the running Alvin. Played a real good game for Carlton today, looking for Meldrum. Shadowed very closely by Tuck as Tuck knocks it out. And that's experience for you. You can't buy experience nowadays, Trevor.
Yes, I think you called it right there. Alvin's been one of Carlton's few goers on the day, as we've played 16 and a half minutes into the final quarter.
There's 14 minutes of agony to go for Carlton. Trevor.
Yes, as the ball comes to Mew, he's slung to the ground. Kernahan tries to burst his way through, can't do it. As the ball comes out to Hunter, he'll stream in towards goal, plants the left boot into it, and across the face of goal. Carlton can't do anything right. It's out of bounds for a throw-in. Forward pocket for Carlton.
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery. Brewers of fine...
15-12, 102 Hawthorn, 7-13, 55 Carlton. 47 points in arrears, the Blue Baggers, and bad luck, Smokey Dawson. I know you're listening on LO. Oh, no, not Smokey Dawson. Well hit out, and here goes the Hawk machine again. Out of bounds, and that's what good play should be.
And not a lot of people know that while the 3LO boys are calling the game, they get Tony through the headphones to keep them completely in the picture.
You just stay cool, Smokey Dawson. Don't you jump out of the box. I'll do all the exciting stuff here on in. 15-12, 102 to 7-13, 55. McKenzie can't get the ball. Good play. Loveridge sees the ball go off the ground. It stacks on the mill. Rowan Robinson tackled very well there. And it's on centre wing. As umpire says, it's mine. 18 minutes into the last quarter.
And who was that tackled him, Tony?
It
Trevor
was Russell Green.
Embodying the Alan Jeans principle. If you can't be a good player,
Don't be a bad player, and don't be a bad umpire. The two Titans, Madden knocks the ball. Hasn't he rucked beautifully to the Hawthorn Ruck Rovers all day, Madden? As Gary Ayres kicks the ball out. Unfortunately for him, Kenny Hunter looks in the van. Come on, Kenny, what can you do? Puts the ball on the ground. Goes in the direction now of Bucky Blackwell. Bucky lines up. He won't get the distance, I don't think. Well, he just got the distance. 1.7, 14, 56, 15, 12, 102, 46 points the difference. 20 minutes into the last quarter, and the Loaded Dog is bringing you this fabulous 3RRR simulcast live from the MCG as Michael Tuck gets the ball.
Oh, the agony and the ecstasy. It's only a matter of time before Hawthorn are doing that lap of honour around the MCG as the ball heads up to centre wing for Hawthorn. English gets the ball out to Dean, well smothered by his teammate in Kinahan, who then handballed it straight over the boundary line. That's what Carlton have been all about today. Gone, Tony Leonard.
Here comes the two Titan once again, and Madden, I'll bet he finds a Hawthorn player again. No, they both missed it, and it stacks on the mill on that beautiful blue Foster's grass.
Ooh.
I prefer Foster's lager myself, though. 102 plays, it doesn't really matter anymore. 46 points is the difference, and I'll tell you something, that won't taste very nice just at the moment, that bit of blood. Deere and Madden doing the ruck work again. Good knock by Madden once again. Find Harms to Kernan. This is the Carlton machine. Glascott going wide looking for Kenny Hunter, and Kenny Hunter's got the ball. Now you've got to go back very quickly, Kenny. Time is running out. We're 21 and a half minutes into the last quarter, and you trail by 8 goals, but I haven't given you a Sellers McClure. Kernahan! It must be Kernahan's mark now. Please play it, umpire. He has paid it too. And I'll give you an interesting statistic about Steve Kernahan. He took more marks in Australia than any other footballer in 1984.
Crikey, that was a while back. Down to Bay 13. Steve Kernahan needed to do that one in the first quarter, not now.
Yeah, but there's excitement all round, Jeff. We're really excited down here in Bay 13. Jumping up and down, that bit of blood on Motley's face. I think that's got him going, and the violence has finally started.
Go back to Linnell.
Oh, cross back is getting a bit too exciting. They've kicked a goal.
And Kernahan kicks a goal. 8, 14, 62, 15, 12, 102, 40 points in arrears of Blue Boys. And it's 23.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on 3RRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
Well, we cross back to the main combox now. Trevor, Marmalade.
Well, here we are. What can Carlton do? Bring on Hopkins, I say. Bring on Hopkins. That's the only thing that can save them. They're 40 points behind in this vital last quarter of the 86 Grand Final. No one can get away with the ball, and umpire Cameron will ball it up. Another ball up to take place in the centre of the ground. It's over 21 minutes into the final quarter. And Madden, the tap out once again to the Hawthorn player. Wallace gets the quick kick out of the pack. Platten comes out to meet it. He dives on it like a seagull to a piece of fat. Over to Reed, who's looking for Dunstall, leading out in front of Dool. He's grabbed by Dean, but not before he gets the handball back out. And it's a shot in the goal, but 1 point to Hawthorn.
All it deserved, Trevor. That was a throw by Platten.
And I've just noticed something. The goal umpire's wearing Adidas football boots, and he trapped that absolutely beautifully. 41 points, the Hawks lead 22 minutes into the last quarter. The Loaded Dog bringing you all the action from the MCG, holding the man to Bernie Evans. Now, come on, fella. Got to get it.
I want a Bay 13 view on that one, that Bernie Evans free kick.
No, Jeff, forget Bernie Evans. Send him back to the Swan.
Okay, back to the main combox now. Trevor.
All right, Hunter has the ball on centre wing. He gets the handball fired over the top to Robertson. He sinks the left boot into it. Meldrum's got the mark there, showing better judgment than Tuck. But Tuck drags him to the ground, making sure he doesn't get away. And Meldrum will go back to take his kick for Carlton.
Now, I'll tell you something. If he kicks this, they're only 35 points down. And I've seen sides get up off the ground when they're 35 points down. We could have the sensational finish that I've been working myself up for the last 2.5 hours.
We could be back here next week, Tony.
Not on that kick, we're not going to be back. Failed to make the distance. Warren McKenzie, just a footballer. Handballs it to McClure, also just a footballer. Bernie Evans.
And just a kick.
I'll let a picture tells 1,000 stories, and I'll let the listeners have a look at that one. Richard Loveridge to take the kick in 10 yards away. Carlton in attack. It's on the members' side, but it's almost against the point post. And won't those kids have a good time with their floggers tonight? Richard Loveridge kicks the ball in over the 50-metre line. Kernahan flies high, no good, son. Russell Morris knocks the ball out to Peter Curran. Into the back of Curran, must be a free kick. And I think they'd like to kick one to really stitch it right up Carlton. Curran's got the ball now. Who's he going to look for? Absolutely no one. Picks out someone in the members, because that's the side he goes. Looking towards a really nice-looking blonde-haired chap who just gave it to him in Russell Morris. And don't they look alike, those two boys? Peter Russo played a great game today. Great pass in the direction of Johnny Platten. John Dorotich trying to get the ball. Dorotich, no right side, has to handball left-handed. Platten dives in well. Breton tries to get the ball. English comes through. Rhys Jones picks the ball out and he's going to try and set something up for Carlton. He does in the agency of Harms. Harms goes towards Bernie Evans. Can't take the ball. He comes through holding the man. Play on should be the call. It's not. It's holding the man.
Yes, the free kick, and rightly so to Eade, who goes in short, looking for Buckanara. He plays straight on and fires in towards goal. And the result, 1 point.
Well, I'd like to cross down to Bay 13 now. Bernie Evans' performance there was a bit half-hearted.
Oh, look, there's a fight down here. Someone's bitten Cleary's ear off. There's a piece of ear, and we've wrapped it in ice, and we'll get it sewn back on after
Okay,
the
we'll
game.
cross back to the main com box as the old man's having a kick. Tony.
As he said, someone lend me your ear, and he found Peter Dean at the meantime. 45 metres out, gone straight up the ground. Got to take risk. Harms has been a fair player today. Gives it to the running high school teacher. He goes long in the direction of Blackwell. Not there, though. And the Sullivan star, when they make Sullivans too. Chris Langford, you get in the line for a job. Finds the used car salesman in Chris Mew. Mew out of side, looking in the direction of Russell Morris. The real thing, gives it towards Bucky Nara. Wallace on again. Stuffs it up. McClure on the wing trying to get a kick and lift his side. Too late, Sellers. Hunter dropping the ball. Hunter holding the ball. Hunter handballs the ball. And Kernahan picks it up and he handballs it. But the ever-reliable Greg Deere handballs it out. Kenny Hunter can't get the ball. Alvin trying to lift his side. So's Peter Dean. Don't fight with the ball, son, because someone like Gary Ayres will come in and the umpire will say, give me the leather, fellas. I want to slap it right into the turf. I'll take charge and signal time off to the timekeepers. And time is 25.5 minutes into the last quarter. It's 42 points the difference. Hawthorn in front and the Loaded Dog in North Fitzroy bringing you all the action.
And the Victoria Police, you'll notice them in position right around the ground. And what a great job they do every year, the Victoria Police and the St John's Ambulance Brigade. We can't forget them either, as Dorotich bundles the ball out of bounds on the Hawthorn half-forward line once again.
Hello, Mum. I'm from Alice Springs. And the ball is thrown in. Curran knocks the ball out well, straight to English, however. The running Robertson, he handballs it to himself as he kicks the ball out then, trying to find Kernahan. Get up, son, can't do so. Mackenzie knocks it through. Kernahan's got the ball, take one bounce. You're not Phil Manasseh, son, I'll give you the tip. He goes in towards goal, and he's kicked it. Full points.
Consolation goals there for Carlton. A bit late, mate.
The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, supporters of the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast on 3RR FM. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
Well, it looks as though the Carlton supporters have taken it on the chin. Not looking too upset there, Trevor.
The Carlton supporters will be streaming out of the ground right now. They can't take it well.
We'll take a quick check up in the members. How's the crowd situation there?
Okay, the ball goes down. Another great knock by Madden, finds Rod Eade and Michael Tuck. And gee whiz, I read there's 36 men out there just absolutely dead on their feet as Michael Tuck was the epitome of that. 27 minutes and 10 seconds into the last quarter. 15-14 place, 9-14. Carlton 6 goals in arrears. Russo kicks the ball up towards centre forward. A very quiet Breton and an even quiet Dorotich are still doing bad. And Buckanara coming through. Here he goes, just to shove it right up. And good pass in the direction of Dunstall. Dunstall's got the ball. He balks Bruce Dool. He lines up. Put it down. It'll be full points. It is Pone. Well called.
You are listening to the Coodabeen Champions Grand Final broadcast on CRR FM. Brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St George's Road, North Fitzroy. Brewers of fine ales and stouts.
Well, fine ales and stouts aren't really the material they're drinking down in Bay 13, but we'll just see how they are.
Yes, well, with that Hawthorn supremacy across the centre line, they'll be playing the bluegrass music in Hawthorn tonight.
I'm having a bit of trouble hearing you, Jeff. I'm chasing my ear around under the seats. I don't know where it's going.
Yours had a pencil behind it too, Phil.
Back to the main com box now, Tony.
No need to come back to me. Hawthorn 16, 14, 1-1-0 have defeated Carlton in the 1986 Grand Final 9-14, 68, and all the action today. And we'd like to thank the people that have really got behind Triple R all day, including this morning, and that's the makers of fine brews up at the Loaded Dog in St George's Road and Holden Street, North Fitzroy. The Loaded Dog Pub Brewery have been fantastic supporters of the day today, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, listeners. Thanks, sponsors. Thanks to everyone who takes part in the Coodabeen Champions simulcast here on 3RRR. And most of all, thank you, Carlton, and thank you, Hawthorn. And just to take us out, here's a word from Mark McClure. Yeah, it's Mark McClure.
It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. You imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to live or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world should live as one.
Drunk at the MCG, I was drunk at the MCG, I was drunk at the MCG, flying drunk at the MCG. One day final 84, drank so much my neck was sore. Cracked a coldie, went for a taste, opened my mouth, missed my whole face. But I was drunk at the MCG, I was drunk at the MCG. Oh, I was drunk at the MCG, flying drunk at the MCG, yeah. Wendy's tour, sack contest, got trashed but we did our best. Still remember remember the catches we missed. Calling home, thoroughly smashed. Another test, 78. Don't remember walking in the gate. Think we played against Pakistan. Drank so much, I sprained my whole arm, but I was drunk at the MCG, yeah. Drunk at the MCG, oh I was drunk at the MCG. Completely smashed at the MCG, yeah. Fourth final, B&H Cup. Drank so much, I threw it all up. Never came out of the bar. Couldn't find my way back to my car, but I was drunk at the MCG. I was drunk at the MCG, yeah. I was drunk at the MCG. Flying drunk at the MCG. Oh, I was drunk at the MCG.
What a game! What a day! I'll be back next year for more of the same. The Coodabeen Champions Grand Final simulcast brought to you by the Loaded Dog Pub Brewery, 324 St. George's Road, North Fitzroy. Love those fine ales and stouts. Homebrewed. Ah, yes. Rough.
Gary Ablett, you're the player, you're the one we go to see. Gary Ablett, when you take a specky, you nearly break your necky. I love your kicks, straight through the sticks. I love your goals, big sausage rolls. I love your dash, ever so flush. I love your funny mustache. You're the player, you're the one makes us all laugh. Justin Madden. When you run, you make me think of a giraffe. Justin Madden. When you take a mark, there's laughter around the park. Why can't you kick? 'Cause I'm too thick. Why can't you play? I'd rather not say. They say you're a twit. Maybe that's it. They say you're a twitty twit twit. Warwick Kappa. Brian Taylor. Brian, won't you grow up? Warwick, get your hair cut. I love you, Gary Boo. I love you, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. I love you. Oi. When Ricky Kennedy took the field, the players stepped aside. When Ricky Kennedy went to full back, the resting rovers would hide. Because a whack in the ear was the only law that Ricky understood. When it came to throwing straight left hooks, he was mighty good. Many a knee went in the groin, many a player would fall. The man who stopped Big Ricky Kennedy, he stopped Bad Ricky Kennedy. He was the bravest. From out of the center the umpy came, a notebook in his hand. The kind of an ump that Ricky loved to crush with just one hand. Because a kick in the guts was the only law that Ricky understood. When two men square up chin to chin, only one can win. Many a knee went in the groin, many a player would fall. The man who stopped Big Ricky Kennedy, he stopped Bad Ricky Kennedy, he was the bravest of them all. Yeah, now go crazy, night lifers.